Chapter 783, Direct Confrontation. What is her name? _6. Upon hearing this, a mocking expression appeared on Zheng Xianjing and the others' faces. Zheng Xianjing walked over to Yang, intending to teach her a few lessons as the elder sister, to not brag and to be down to earth. Just as she was about to start, two other receptionists in traditional Han clothing walked out. Sorry for the wait, Miss Ni. The new hires didn't know about your identity. Please follow me. No problem, Yang smiled slightly. This left Zheng Xianjing stunned. Lu Kerson was also stunned. Lu Kerson quickly grabbed one of the receptionists by the sleeve. You're mistaken, right? She can enter without a membership card? The receptionist smiled and replied, as Ms. Ni is our esteemed VIP guest, she can indeed enter without a card. Zheng Xianjing clenched her fist. She had hoped to seize this opportunity to show off, but instead, Yang stole the limelight. How infuriating. Since Lu Kerson was paying, Yang didn't hold back and ordered the most expensive dishes. The total cost of the meal would amount to no less than 7,000 to 8,000 yuan. Seeing the prices on the menu made Lu Kerson wince. If she had anticipated this, she wouldn't have pretended to be generous. While she wasn't short on money, still 8,000 yuan was enough for her to travel abroad 2 to 3 times. The theme of the restaurant, national beauty, was traditional Chinese. With wall murals depicting scenes from the painting along the river during the Qingming festival, hand-carved lamps, and even redwood handmade chairs, the classical decor stood out as a breath of fresh air in an era that idolizes modern design and Western culture. Old Master Zheng looked around and commented, the owner is no ordinary person, they have a rich cultural background. Madame Zheng nodded in agreement. I reckon they must be of considerable age. The younger generation these days are not fond of old-style things. Weddings in ancient times were grand affairs complete with phoenix crowns and red wedding gowns. Now they wore white wedding dresses instead. Madame Zheng, having lived through those days, had a hard time accepting white in a festive celebration such as marriage. The most crucial thing about national beauty wasn't just the service or the environment but the taste of their dishes, which was simply unparalleled. Whenever someone dines here, they would immediately think of national beauty whenever they thought about dining out in the future. Halfway through the meal, Yang excused herself to conduct some business with Gulanji, as she considered this a good opportunity to discuss the restaurant's revenue. The third floor was a VIP area and thus was quiet, but the second floor was quite bustling with food carriers and customers. As Yang was descending the stairs, a food carrier crossed paths with her. The food carrier was a tall girl who didn't notice a banana peel on the stairs as her hands were full. She stepped on it, losing her balance, and was about to tumble over. Just then 2 people, one on each side, reached out and steadied her arm while 2 other hands prevented the tray and food from tipping over. Be careful. 2 voices echoed out at the same time. One voice was gentle and calm like an April breeze. The other voice was warm and soothing, reminiscent of the sound emanating from an ancient bronze bell. The girl was visibly scared and quickly said, "Thank you, sir, thank you, ma'am," before hurrying off to deliver her dishes. Only then did Yang realize that she and a man dressed in a scholar's robe had saved the food carrier. Unlike modern men, he was dressed in an ancient robe with a pair of simple fabric shoes on his feet, his hair neatly combed back into a ponytail, and a string of Buddha beads in his hand. His fair skin contrasted with the brown beads, his hands well defined. Strangely, his hands appeared more beautiful than a lattice by threefold. His manner was gentle and courteous, making it hard to guess his actual profession. While she was observing him, he was also observing her. She was beautiful, probably the first impression of most people. His gaze reminded him of a line of poetry. Only Mudan truly represents the national beauty, when it blooms, it stirs Beijing. The young lady possesses remarkable agility, said the man, none other than Mr. Du. Yang gave a faint smile, likewise. This man's quick reaction indicated that he was well trained in martial arts. His skill was not in line with his outward appearance and personality. Yang didn't say much more. She picked up the banana peel from the stairs and continued down. Mr. Du was slightly taken aback. He turned to watch Yang's figure, leaving a furrow in his brows. Her voice seemed familiar. Where did he hear it? A beautiful lady like her would have left a deep impression if they had met before. But he couldn't recall where he had seen her. Yang found Gulanji downstairs, discussed the business matters and emphasized on the restaurant sanitation. Had she and that man not responded promptly, the consequences would have been disastrous and it would have negatively impacted the customers on the stairway. Upon hearing this, Gulanji felt a chill. If the food carrier had fallen, she, as the manager, would also have to bear the blame. Luckily it didn't happen. Sure, Yang, I understood. I'll discuss with the cleaning department to increase their frequency of work to ensure such an accident doesn't repeat. And Yang nodded. By the way, which private room is the man dressed in scholar's attire a guest of? And Yang inquired. Gulanji thought for a moment and replied, I believe he's from private room 9. And Yang instructed, once you confirm he's from private room 9, take the food carrier girl with you, apologize properly and waive off his bill. Also, the mishap occurred due to poor sanitation, don't blame it on the food carrier girl. Understood. Once the discussions were over, Yang left the office and returned to the 3rd floor. Gulanji was an efficient individual. Upon confirming that the guest Yang referred to was from private room 9, she immediately took the food carrier girl with her to apologize. Interestingly, only 2 people occupied the spacious private room 9. One was sitting while the other was standing, possibly a master and his servant. After explaining their purpose of visit, Mr. Du put down his teacup and absent-mindedly fiddled with his Buddha beads. No need for waiving the bill, just answer a question for me. Gulanji bowed slightly, please ask, sir. Mr. Du raised his eyes slightly, his voice as gentle as ever. What is the name of the young lady with excellent agility? Chapter 784. Please give me another chance. _1A capable young girl? Gulanji was stunned for a moment, then recalled that he must be referring to Yang. That young girl is also a VIP member of our restaurant. As this involves the guest's privacy, I can't disclose detailed information. Gulanji said. Yi wasn't an unreasonable person. Upon hearing this, he slightly hooked his lips in a smile and said, okay, I understand. You may leave. Gulanji nodded, turning to leave with the food server. At the stairway, the curious server asked, Manager Gu, who do you think that guest is? That guest was quite extraordinary. Even in the modern times he still wore a traditional long robe and cloth shoes, yet didn't seem at all out of place. He was graceful and handsome. His every move was reminiscent of a young master from a wealthy family depicted in TV dramas. Due to his attire, Gulanji had a bit of an impression of Yi, who was a frequent guest here. He remembered that on his first visit, the restaurant's membership cards were sold out. He wanted to acquire a membership card even at 10 times the price. That was certainly impossible. The restaurant did not practice favoritism for anyone. In the end, he, like the other customers, queued for almost 3 hours before finally entering the restaurant to dine. The next time he came, he already had in his possession a membership card. As a kind-hearted boss, Gulanji shared, he is definitely an important figure. Such important people are not ones we could casually recognize. You should just focus on your work and be more careful in the future. Although the restaurant had its fair share of VIP customers, there weren't many like Yi. Yes, I understand, Manager Gu, the food server nodded. After using Lu Kursen, Yang was in a pretty good mood. I want to thank Mississippi Lu for her generous contribution which allowed us such a wonderful meal. Lu Kursen, barely suppressing her retching, had no choice but to bluster in embarrassment. It was only 8,000 yuan. It's not a big deal. And Yang laughed. Mississippi Lu is indeed very generous. Lu Kursen's face turned green and then white with rage. She was on the verge of losing her temper. Xianxia took hold of Lu Kursen's arm softly, saying, Kursen, my younger sister was just joking with you, don't get angry. Only then did Lu Kursen's face look slightly better. It was crucial not to offend Xianxia. After all, Xianxia was currently Yu's lifesaver. Lu Kursen tried quietly to please Xianxia. Xianxia, you're always so sensible. On the contrary, your sister is just a low-bred country bumpkin who couldn't possibly fit into our circles. Her mere presence depreciates us. Upon hearing that, another young lady promptly agreed in a whispered tone, absolutely. How could this rural bumpkin even compare to our Xianxia? Hearing their flattering voices, Xianxia felt extremely satisfied. Her lips curled in triumph. After finishing their meal, the group left the restaurant. The old lady cradled little Yun in her arms while Yang walked by Zheng Laoye's side. Zheng Laoye, who wasn't normally a chatty person, unusually enjoyed having a lively conversation with Yang. Yang, I know a place that sells delicious candied hawthorns. Do you and Yun want some? The mention of candied hawthorns excited little Yun. Yes, I want. Zheng Laoye laughed. All right. I will buy some for you. Zheng Laotai said, children should not eat too many sweets. It's bad for their teeth. Zheng Laoye retorted, why are you always picking on things? What harm can occasionally eating a string of them do? Did you lose your teeth because you ate sugar as a child? The half-toothless Zheng Laotai, I'm speechless. Little Nai Yun happily said, Thank you, Grandpa. You're the best. Grandpa, carry me. Zheng Laoye took little Nai Yun into his arms, setting her on his shoulder. Grandpa will take Yun Yun and sister to buy candied hawthorns. Little Nai Yun was thrilled, riding the horse giddy up. Nai Yang laughed, I would prefer not to have the candied hawthorns. I have to attend to some business in a bit. You can take Yun Yun. Zheng Laoye replied, Then, I'll buy some for you and you can eat it when you come home later. Seeing this, Zheng Lingling and her mother both had unsatisfied expressions on their faces. So, Nai Yang and Nai Yun are human, and Zheng Xianjing is not? They bought candied hawthorns for Nai Yang and Nai Yun, completely forgetting about Zheng Xianjing. Favoritism. Such blatant favoritism. They're being so blatantly partial that it's beyond infuriating. Chapter 785. Please give me another chance. _2. Moreover, when Zheng Xianjing was a child, old Master Zheng wouldn't even smile at her, let alone pamper her. Truly, one's own child always comes first. Two old codgers. Zheng Lingling wished she could strangle old Master Zheng and the old lady. Master Zheng, holding little Nai Yun, said, Ting Ting Dehui, you guys can go wherever you want and your mom and I will take Yun Yun to play. Lingling and Xianjing, if you want to go out, feel free to wander around, otherwise go home. Nai Tsuehua and Shengguan Dehui were newlyweds, so they should have some private time together. Shengguan Dehui simply adored his father-in-law. Dad, then I'll take Daya and leave first. Please take care of Yun Yun. Zheng Lingling felt suffocated inside but managed to force a smile on her face. Sure, Dad. Nai Yang also said, Then I'll go ahead, Grandpa. Go on, go on. Master Zheng waved his hand. Third floor of the National Fragrance. Mr. Du and Wang Ziki stood at the floor-to-ceiling window on the third floor. Is that Zheng Xianjing? Wang Ziki nodded. Yes, it's her. Mr. Du pointed to the slim figure next to Master Zheng. Who is that? Wang Ziki squinted. I don't know that person, but the Zheng family recently found their biological daughter. I think that should be the daughter brought back by their biological daughter. Because Wang Ziki had been investigating Zheng Xianjing lately, he knew quite a bit about the Zheng family. Mr. Du twirled his Buddha beads, his face expressionless. Investigate her. Investigate Master Zheng's biological granddaughter? Why would he want to investigate Master Zheng's granddaughter? Is he interested in her? Wang Ziki was stunned for a moment, then said, All right. When his words were done, Mr. Du continued, How is the investigation on that case from last time going? There's no news yet. Wang Ziki replied. Beijing is not like Shanghai. Shanghai is full of their informers. Finding someone in Beijing is like looking for a needle in a haystack. The most important thing is they hardly have any leads. At least when they were looking for Zheng Xianjing, they knew the car model. It's so difficult. Meanwhile, Shengguan Dehui took Nai Tsuehua to stroll around and watch a movie. It was rare for them to have these moments alone together. The streets of Beijing in 1985 were not as closed off as before, with couples hand in hand everywhere. Shengguan Dehui held Nai Kuihua's hand. Look, there's a cotton candy stall over there. Let's go buy a couple. Nai Tsuehua laughed. We're not kids anymore, why would we want cotton candy? This cotton candy is just like cotton, fluffy, and it dissolves as soon as you put it in your mouth. I'm sure you've never had it before. Besides, who made the rule that only children can eat candy? Adults can't. Cotton candy originated from the West and was invented in 1897, but the cloud-shaped cotton candy only recently appeared on the streets of Beijing. While they were talking, Shengguan Dehui led Nai Tsuehua to the cotton candy stall. Boss, 2 cotton candies please. Alright, that'll be 6 cents. Since it's a novelty, the price is a bit high. Shengguan Dehui pulled 6 cents out of his pocket and handed it to the street vendor. Here. Shengguan Dehui handed 1 string to Nai Tsuehua. Nai Tsuehua glanced around a bit embarrassedly before accepting it. Shengguan Dehui bit into the cotton candy, laughing. Daya, try a bite and see if it's sweet enough. It was Nai Kuihua's first time eating this kind of cotton candy. She took a bite, and even though it was quite big, it dissolved into sugar water as soon as it entered her mouth. It was quite sweet but not worth it. It looked like a lot, but in reality it wasn't even a mouthful. Not far away, a middle-aged man carrying a briefcase watched enviously as Shengguan Dehui laughed and talked with Nai Tsuehua. Seeing this warm scene, an involuntary smile of nostalgia appeared on his face. This man was none other than Zhao Shen. These days he had been reflecting on himself. He was wrong. He was truly wrong. He shouldn't have hurt Shangguan Farong. Even though Shangguan Farong was a bit temperamental as her husband, he should be forgiving. He definitely should not have brought Lin Fang home when Shangguan Farong was feeling disheartened. At that time, if he had repented timely, he might have been able to win back Shangguan Farong. Now Shangguan Farong and their children are gone. Only he and Lady Zhao are left in the Zhao family. Every time he gets off work, he doesn't want to go home. He's afraid of facing an uncheerful home. Chapter 786. Please give me another chance. _3. If he hadn't wronged Shangguan Farong then, he could have been as happy as Shangguan Dehui and Enai Tsuehua now. He had destroyed his own happiness with his own hands. Zhao Shen took a deep sigh, then mustered the courage to walk up to Shangguan Dehui and Enai Tsuehua. Brother, sister-in-law. Shangguan Dehui looked up and his brows furrowed slightly. Call me Mr. Shangguan, I'm not your brother now. Shangguan Dehui's attitude was somewhat off, so Enai Tsuehua gently tugged at his sleeve. Despite the bitter smile on his face, Zhao Shen replied, Regardless, you are still the uncle of my 2 children. Shangguan Dehui didn't respond. Zhao Shen continued, Brother, I have thoroughly reflected on my actions recently and realized my mistakes. Shangguan Dehui didn't speak. Enai Tsuehua tried to smooth things over with a smile. It's a good thing when a prodigal son returns to the fold. Thank you, sister-in-law. Zhao Shen continued, Brother, sister-in-law, I really know that I was wrong. Please give me another chance to take care of Farong and the children. He was really fond of Shangguan Farong. They were each other's first loves. Besides Shangguan Farong, he couldn't marry anyone else. Moreover, he couldn't bear to leave his 2 children. Enai Tsuehua could not respond to these words, and chose to remain silent. Shangguan Dehui snorted coldly, Because of you, I nearly lost a sister and 2 nephews. Do you think you'll ever entrust them to someone like you again? The incident of jumping off a building had always been a sore spot for Shangguan Dehui. No matter what, Shangguan Farong was his only sister. Brother, I genuinely know I was wrong. I swear, I will treat Farong and the 2 children well in the future. Zhao Shen raised 3 fingers and continued, Bro, I'm begging you. At the end, Zhao Shen even knelt in front of Shangguan Dehui. Seeing this, the people on the street couldn't help but turn their curious gazes towards them. Shangguan Dehui helped Zhao Shen up. A man's knees are as precious as gold, get up. Looking at Shangguan Dehui again, Zhao Shen's face was streaked with tears. He choked out, Brother, Farong can't be without a husband and the 2 children can't be without a father. I'm begging you, I'll definitely cherish this hard-earned opportunity. A man doesn't easily shed tears, but when he does, it evokes sympathy. The sight of Zhao Shen would soften anyone's heart. Shangguan Dehui sighed and replied, I can't decide for Farong. You should talk to her yourself. As long as she's willing to forgive you, I won't object. Zhao Shen wiped his face with his sleeve, gratefully replying, Thank you, brother. Thank you, sister-in-law. Shangguan Dehui raised his hand, Don't thank me so quickly. Whether Farong will forgive you remains to be seen. Regardless of her decision, I will respect Farong's choice. Zhao Shen nodded, Okay brother, I understand. You and sister-in-law have fun together, I'll be leaving first. With that, Zhao Shen turned and left. Watching Zhao Shen's retreating figure, Shangguan Dehui grasped Enai Tsuehua's hand. Dia, what do you think about this? About the matter between Farong and Zhao Shen? Enai Tsuehua asked. Yes. Shangguan Dehui nodded. Enai Tsuehua took a bite of her cotton candy and replied, From the children's perspective, Zhao Shen can be forgiven. After all, a child's growth can't be without a father. But from a moral standpoint, Zhao Shen's actions are absolutely unforgivable. Just like you, I will respect whatever Farong decides. Enai Tsuehua had been through a failed marriage. She knew the difficulties women faced. Whether Zhao Shen had truly repented or not, he had already left an unbridgeable scar on Shangguan Farong's heart. What's done can't be undone, a broken mirror can't be joined again. Shangguan Dehui nodded, So we are of the same opinion. Then he said, Forget about this for now, Comrade Dia, shall we go see a movie together? I heard from a colleague that a movie called Mr. Zombie just came out. Let's go see it. Mr. Zombie 1 starring Mr. Lam was released in 1985 and was quite popular at the box office in mainland China. Enai Tsuehua replied, Zombies? Is it a horror movie? At this time, zombies only existed in books. Enai Tsuehua, who had read books on the topic, was quite interested and curious to see what a movie about zombies would look like. Shangguan Dehui said, Probably we'll know when we see it. Chapter 787. Please give me another chance. 4. Mr. Zombie 1 is a film that intertwines horror with comedy and injects a subtle touch of sorrow into the playfulness. While everyone else in the theater was terrified, Anai Tsuehua remained incredibly calm. On the other hand, Shengguan Dehui was far from relaxed, beads of cold sweat covering the palms of his hands. Normally he was quite brave, but the sight of the ghost bride sitting on Chen Ziaheo's bicycle and the haunting tune accompanying her appearance turned Shengguan Dehui's face pale. He clenched Anai Kuihua's hand tightly. Anai Tsuehua chuckled, "What's there to be afraid of? It's all fake." Shengguan Dehui. After leaving, Zhao Shen went to a flower shop and bought a bouquet of fiery red roses. Had heard that young people in love these days are into this sort of thing. He wasn't sure whether Shengguan Farong would like it or not. Elsewhere, Master Zheng and Madame Zheng were buying candied hawthorns with little Anai Yun. Perched atop Master Zheng's shoulders, the laughter in little Anai Yun's eyes was infectious. "I want 2 sticks. All right, we'll get 2 for little Yun Yun." Master Zheng smiled. "Shopkeeper, give me 4 candied hawthorns." Quickly, the candied hawthorn shopkeeper handed 4 sticks of candied hawthorn to little Anai Yun. "Here you go, young lady." Little Anai Yun said gratefully, "Thank you, shopkeeper." The shopkeeper was pleasantly surprised. "Such a polite little girl." Little Anai Yun responded, "And you're polite too, shopkeeper." The candied hawthorn shopkeeper was beaming with delight. This little girl is good at making logical inferences. Master Zheng and Madame Zheng also couldn't help but laugh out loud. Madame Zheng asked, "Yun, who are these 4 candied hawthorns for?" Little Anai Yun replied, "2 are for myself, 1 is for sister and 1 is for sister Xianjing." Although little Anai Yun may be young, she has big thoughts. Madame Zheng then asked, "Why aren't there any for grandpa and grandma?" Little Anai Yun reasoned, "Because grandpa and grandma are adults and adults can't eat candy." In her mind, even Anai Yang and Zheng Xianjing were still little kids. Master Zheng feigned disappointment. "What should we do if grandpa and grandma still want some?" After pondering for a bit, little Anai Yun finally decided to share her own. She took out one of her candied hawthorns. "This stick is for you and grandma. Yun will just have 1. Grandpa, you and grandma can only have 1 stick. If you eat too much, your teeth will hurt." Madame Zheng pinched little Anai Yun's hand while standing on her tiptoes. "You little smart aleck. Grandpa was just teasing you. Grandpa and grandma don't eat candy. You eat it." Finding out that she was still entitled to 2 candied hawthorns, little Anai Yun was over the moon. At the agricultural trade market, Wu Yinyun went to the grains and oils section, where she was planning to buy some rice and flour to take home. Now, rice was priced at 2 cents per pound and flour was 1 cent. She bought 5 pounds of each, enough to tide her family over for roughly a week. With the remaining 5 cents, she bought half a pound of edible oil to take home as they were out. Once she gathered everything, she reached into her pocket to pay but found it empty. The color drained from Wu Yanyun's face. Where was her money? Where had her money gone? Wu Yanyun frantically checked her pockets again, but they were still empty. Now Wu Yanyun was panicking, turning her pockets inside out. "Where's my money? Where's my money? It was here just a moment ago." Wu Yanyun's voice was trembling. Those 2 yuan was to feed her entire family. It was their lifeline. What to do now? What was she supposed to do now? Seeing Wu Yanyun in such a state, the grains and oils shopkeeper flipped the rice and flour back into their respective containers, a trace of annoyance coloring his words. "Why are you buying things without money? Are you fooling with me? Seriously?" At that moment, Wu Yanyun's world crumbled. Everything seemed gray. Her parents worked so hard every day just to earn a little over a yuan, and she'd lost too. She was letting her parents down. She was so useless. Wu Yanyun crumpled onto the ground, sitting there and crying her heart out, oblivious to her surroundings. At that moment, what else could she do but cry? Many people came and went, yet no one extended a helping hand. There were plenty of pitiful people out there. If everyone were to show sympathy for each one, who could keep up? Anai Yang visited her Sifu's place every day, and today was no exception. Her Sifu's place was in a more rural location where it wasn't easy to shop for groceries, so Anai Yang planned to buy some everyday essentials to bring over. As she approached the entrance of the agricultural market, she spotted a girl sitting on the ground, crying in despair. Her cries were heart-wrenching. Anai Yang squinted slightly, finding the girl somewhat familiar. After taking a closer look, isn't this girl Wu Yanyun? Chapter 788. Please give me another chance. _5. For some reason, upon seeing Wu Yanyun, Anai Yang felt an inexplicable sense of familiarity. "Yanyun, and Yang walked over, squatting down beside Wu Yenyun and patted her shoulder. After patting Wu Yenyun without any response, and Yang patted her again. Yenyun? Only then did Wu Yenyun react. She lifted her head and saw a clean and pretty face choked back a sob. Yang? And Yang handed her a clean handkerchief. Yenyun, wipe your tears first. Wu Yenyun raised her hand, wiping her face indiscriminately with her sleeves. Don't get your handkerchief dirty. It was evident that Yang belonged in a different world from hers. You could tell that Yang must have a good family environment, unlike her. Yang stuffed the handkerchief into Wu Yenyun's hands with a smile. It's okay, handkerchiefs are meant for wiping stains, what else would they be for? Thank you. Wu Yenyun gripped the handkerchief, warmth spreading in her heart. Yang then helped Wu Yenyun up from the ground. Yenyun, what's the matter? No, nothing. Wu Yenyun used the handkerchief to wipe away her tears. Just by the agricultural market, there was a dumpling soup shop. Considering it was past 12 p.m., Wu Yenyun probably hadn't eaten yet, so Yang took her to the shop saying, let's eat and chat inside. But where would Wu Yenyun get the money to eat? No need, Yang, I've already eaten. Yang chuckled, that's okay. I haven't eaten yet anyway. Just think of it as keeping me company during my meal. Upon hearing that, Wu Yenyun had no choice but to follow Yang into the dumpling soup shop. There weren't many customers in the shop. Seeing the new customers, the boss lady greeted them enthusiastically. What can I get for the two of you? Yang looked at the menu and ordered 2 large bowls of dumpling soup, then 2 pan-fried dumplings and add an egg to each soup. At this time, when one's stomach is low on oil, people generally do eat more. Yang didn't have a big appetite, and she was concerned Wu Yenyun wouldn't be filled up. If she ordered different dishes, she was afraid Wu Yenyun would misunderstand. Wu Yenyun responded, Yang, just order what you want. I have really already eaten. Yang gave a small smile. We are friends now. I'm just treating you to a meal. What does it matter? Are you going to just sit there and watch me eat? Boss lady, could you please serve the food now? The boss lady wiped her hands on her apron, smiling brightly. All right, you two just wait for a while. A short while later, the dumpling soup was served. Yang tasted a spoonful first. Yenyun, eat quickly. Dumpling soup is best eaten hot. Okay. Wu Yenyun nodded. After not eating well last night and only having some rice soup in the morning and a small lunch at home, Wu Yenyun was really hungry now. She quickly gobbled up 5 or 6 dumplings and couple of spoonfuls of soup, then looked up at Yang, hesitated for a moment and stuttered, Yang, I am full now. Can I take the rest home? Yang suddenly recalled what Han Xiaoyu had told her before, that Wu Yenyun had 3 younger brothers at home and their family was not well off. I think they don't allow takeouts here. You should just finish it. Otherwise it would go to waste, said Yang. Really? Wu Yenyun asked. Yang nodded. Hearing that, Wu Yenyun resumed eating, regretfully thinking that her 2 younger brothers and grandmother won't get to taste the delicious dumpling soup. Midway through the meal, Yang asked, Yenyun, what happened earlier? Why were you crying so much? Wu Yenyun shook her head, the tears welling up in her eyes again. I'm really all right. Yang patted Wu Yenyun's hand and smiled. We are friends now. There's nothing that we can't talk about, right? Wu Yenyun bit back her tears. I lost the 2 yuan my mom gave me. It was supposed to buy rice. Yang consoled her. As the saying goes, losing wealth is a way to avoid disasters. Don't cry, Yenyun. Finish your meal first, it'll go pay. Wu Yenyun nodded. Yang walked towards the counter and whispered to the boss lady, could you pack 5 dumpling soups, the same as what we had, and then another 5 braised duck legs? The boss lady confirmed. So, it's large dumpling soup with pan-fried dumplings and eggs, all included? Yes. Yang nodded. The boss lady did a quick calculation. That will be 7 yuan. Yang handed her 2 large denominations. Put the change all in the takeaway bag. All right. The boss lady nodded. Chapter 789. Please give me another chance. _6. After paying, Yang walked out. Wu Yenyun had almost finished eating. Yang had just eaten at Gus Tianxiang for lunch, and she couldn't take in another bite. She had only eaten 1 dumpling soup from her bowl. Just then the lady boss emerged carrying a big bag. Young lady, these are the 5 portions of dumpling soup you packed. Wasn't it said that takeaway wasn't allowed here? Wu Yenyun looked at Yang in surprise. Yang pushed the bag towards Wu Yenyun. This is for you. Take it home for your brother and your family to enjoy. Wu Yinyun quickly refused. No, I can't accept it. And I Yang had been kind enough already, how could she accept more from her? And I Yang gave a light laugh. It's okay. Everybody has their fair share of hardships. Just take it. Wu Yinyun was so moved that she was at a loss for words. She was on the verge of tears. Yang, and I Yang patted Wu Yinyun's hand. I've been in a worse situation than you are in now, Yinyun. Hang in there. There's no hurdle in life we can't get through. She had somehow managed to get through all the hardships in her past life. Yes. Wu Yinyun nodded. And I Yang continued, I've tasted my dumpling soup, but I didn't touch the pot stickers and the eggs. If you don't mind, you can take them too. Wu Yinyun finally understood. When N.I. Yang said that takeouts weren't allowed, she was just trying to make from Wu Yinyun eat more. She felt a lump in her throat. The tears that she had been holding back began to flow again. I don't mind. Wu Yinyun's head was nodding. Yang, thank you. When she was able, she wanted to be like N.I. Yang, someone who spreads warmth. N.I. Yang stood up. I have something else to take care of. I'm leaving now. He'll walk you out. Wu Yinyun also got up. N.I. Yang smiled and said, No need, we are not going the same way. With that, she turned and walked towards the agricultural market. Wu Yinyun called over the lady boss and had N.I. Yang's portion of dumpling soup packed as well. As she was about to leave, Wu Yinyun accidentally found a 5 yuan bill and 3 1 yuan banknotes in the bag. Boss, where did this money come from? Wu Yinyun asked. The lady boss grinned. That young lady who was with you just now told me to put it in the bag. Wu Yinyun was slightly taken aback, and then she realized what N.I. Yang had done. N.I. Yang was probably trying to protect her dignity with that gesture. She truly was a good person. Wu Yinyun silently acknowledged in her heart. When she was carrying the dumpling soup home, she bumped into the landlord, Wu Lan, coming out of the courtyard. Wu Lan noticed a peculiar expression on Wu Yinyun's face for a moment and then quickly resumed her smile. Yinyun, you're back. Wu Yinyun nodded. Aunt Lan. Wu Dalong and Wu Erlong came bounding out of the courtyard. Big sister is home. Big sister, what are you carrying? It smells so good. Wu Yinyun smiled and said, Of course it's something good. Wait a moment. I'll divide it up in the kitchen. Wu Dalong was jumping with joy. Wu Yinyun kept the other 5 portions of dumpling soup for dinner and took out N.I. Yang's portion separately, dividing it into 3. N.I. Yang had just symbolically eaten a mouthful of her portion. Since it was a larger portion, it could be divided into 3 bowls. She gave 1 egg to Granny Wu, and 1 pot sticker each to Wu Dalong and Wu Erlong. Upon seeing that the food was divided into 3 portions, Wu Erlong asked, Big sister, aren't you eating? Wu Yinyun smiled and said, Big sister has already eaten. Before Wu Erlong could respond, Wu Dalong eagerly said, Xiaolong, if you're not eating, I'll eat your portion for you. Wu Erlong immediately guarded his meal. Wu Yinyun took the remaining portion to their grandmother. Their grandmother scolded with a stern face, We're already so poor we can't afford food. Your mom gave you 2 yuan just yesterday and you've wasted it today. Don't we know our place? You extravagant child. What a disgrace. What could our respectable Wu family have done to deserve a child like you? If only we knew back then. In the end, the grandmother started coughing in agitation, looking like she might collapse at any second. Wu Yinyun immediately tried to pacify her. Grandma, don't be angry. I didn't use the money mom gave me for this. A kind-hearted lady gave me several portions of these. I plan to save them for dinner. Look, the money mom gave me is still here. She couldn't dare tell her grandmother about losing the money. She decided to confide it to her parents quietly at night. Seeing this, their grandmother's expression softened slightly. After enjoying the forbidden dumpling soup, she continued, Xiaoyun, how old are you now? I'm 18, Wu Yinyun replied, puzzled. Why would her grandmother suddenly ask her age? 18? Their grandmother looked at her with complicated eyes. 18 is not young anymore. She herself had been married at 18. The young mistress had been promised to a family at 16. Grandma, are you asking for a reason? Wu Yinyun continued to inquire. Their grandmother shook her head. No, you can go now. Just as Wu Yinyun was about to leave, it seemed their grandmother remembered something. Both of your younger brothers should be in school, but they are still at home playing. If it weren't for you, your brothers would be in school by now. Xiaoyun, do you know how much it costs to raise a child? Wu Yanyun's voice was a little bitter. I know, their grandmother said. If you are sensible, you should help your parents more. You are 18, no longer a child. Our family is in this mess because of you. Wu Yinyun nodded in agreement. After leaving their grandmother's room, Wu Yanyan's previously joyous mood had turned somber once more. She knew her grandmother's words had a deeper meaning, but she didn't understand her true intention. Wu Yanyan looked up at the somewhat gray sky, wishing she could give herself a cathartic cry. The Deming Pavilion was located at the busiest street in Beijing. The area near the Deming Pavilion was unusually tranquil because it was the residence of a nobleman. This nobleman was none other than Master Du. Master Du stood by a small pond in the garden, feeding fishes, while Wang Ziki reported the information he had found. Master Du, Mr. Zheng's biological granddaughter, is named Ni Yang. She's 19 years old. She used to live in Dam Village in Haiqing with her birth mother, Ni Tsuihua. 2 years ago, after her parents divorced, she moved to Beijing with her mother, Ni Yang. Master Du scattered a handful of fish food into the pond. Look up Ni Yang's whereabouts on that night then. Although according to Wang Ziki's findings, Ni Yang seemed to be an ordinary village girl, Master Du knew she was no ordinary person. Wang Ziki was momentarily taken aback before nodding in acknowledgement. Third brother, who is this lady you are going to such lengths for this time? A fashionable woman approached from afar. Wang Ziki respectfully greeted, Second Mississippi. Master Du glanced back, absent-mindedly twirling his prayer beads. She saved my life. She is not a paramour. Second sister, when did you arrive in Beijing? Chapter 790, So Unique. Found the real lifesaver. _1 The person who arrived was none other than Du's half-sister from the same father, Du Jiaojiao. Du Jiaojiao was 36 years old this year, but she looked no different from a woman in her early 20s. She was wearing a fashionable lace dress, her hair was curled in golden waves, and she had on a pair of light black high heels. As she walked, each step clicked on the floor, emanating an aura of authority. Upon hearing this, Du Jiaojiao asked seriously, A savior? What happened? Du narrated the incident from that night in a calm and composed manner. His casual demeanor as if the person who almost died that night wasn't him. People like Du had long understood the cycle of life and death. To him, life and death were no more than a cycle. Du Jiaojiao squinted her eyes in anger and said, These people are absolutely reckless. No sooner had you left Shanghai than they set their sights on Beijing. Du twiddled with his Buddha beads. No point getting angry, it's not good for your health. Du Jiaojiao was so angry that she started to laugh. Who do you think I'm doing this for? It's all for you. Although he wasn't her full brother, their bond was much deeper than that of ordinary siblings. Du Jiaojiao then asked, Have you found out who's behind this? Du nodded his head. Du Jiaojiao jumped in, Who is it? I'll kill him myself. Du replied, There's no need for you to act, sister. I've already taken care of it. Du Jiaojiao laughed, I always knew you were a smiling tiger, pretending not to care on the surface but holding grudges deep down. Given her brother's tumultuous past, his journey to the present has been far from easy. Along the way, a lot of blood had been shed. He truly stepped on bones to get where he is. With one hand on his Buddha beads and the other tossing some fish bait, he said, I'm no saint. If someone crosses my line, I'll naturally pay them back. Du Jiaojiao added, So the young girl who saved you is quite formidable. Haven't you found her yet? Anyone who could save her brother must be extraordinarily skilled. At the moment, Du Jiaojiao was also curious about what this little girl looked like. Du shook his head. It was already dark at that time and the clues were too scarce. Du Jiaojiao chuckled, No rush. As long as destiny dictates, you two shall meet again. Du did not continue the conversation. Du Jiaojiao nudged him with her elbow and giggled, By the way, do you have some good news to share? What good news? Du was puzzled. Du Jiaojiao laughed, Don't play dumb. I heard back in Shanghai that you've set your sights on a young girl and are thinking about bringing her home as your wife? No, Du straightforwardly denied. Du Jiaojiao was speechless. You're still pretending in front of your sister? Really, there isn't. Du Jiaojiao frowned. Tell me honestly, all these years, haven't you had feelings for anyone? Her brother was already in his 30s this year. He was often surrounded by women and even had 2 mistresses. But he had never truly opened his heart to anyone. He was like an emotionless machine, cold and indifferent. Du lightly shook his head. Throughout my life, I have never understood what it is to like. Du Jiaojiao then asked, What about love? Even if you've never liked anyone, you must have loved someone, right? Du cracked a smile. Love? What is love? Is it something that can satisfy hunger or thirst? Besides, is there really such a thing as love in this world? He never believed in love between a man and a woman. He never loved anyone. He even found it puzzling why some people could make a huge fuss over so-called love. In Du's view, this was incredibly foolish behavior. Du Jiaojiao shook her head in disbelief. Being with someone like you who doesn't understand love is so boring. Du fiddled with his Buddha beads. Buddha said, life is what we make of it, all things in the world are transient. If the mind is not moved, nothing in the world is moved. If the mind doesn't change, everything remains the same. And his mind would never be moved for anyone. Du Jiaojiao gave a snort. There's a long road of life ahead. I don't believe you won't fall for any girl in the future. Being human, no one could escape the two words, passionate love. Du laughed softly. If I could fall for someone, would I still be waiting till now? Over these years, he had encountered countless admirable women. Du Jiaojiao gave him a glance but couldn't refute his words. Chapter 791, So Unique. Found the Real Lifesaver. _2. Her younger brother, who was well-traveled and handsome, attracted numerous women who wouldn't consider marrying anyone else. Even the daughter of the leader of the desert country, whom he did not bother to give much attention to. He even avoided accepting 2 concubines. Du Jiaojiao continued, Little brother, I think you should reduce your reading of those Buddhist scriptures. At this rate, you might as well become a monk. Master Du sighed. Master Wuxia said my 6 senses are impure, so he refused to take me as his disciple. You actually want to become a monk? Have you gone mad? Du Jiaojiao widened her eyes in disbelief, her voice several decibels higher. Master Du smiled, seeming rather amused by the whole scene. Du Jiaojiao continued, Our mother only has you as her son. You can't give up on life so easily. The mother, in her words, was Master Du's biological mother. Their father was a notorious womanizer, his legacy littered with the hearts of countless women. Master Du switched his Buddha beads to the other hand. You're overthinking things, second sister. If Master Wuxia didn't accept him as a student, there was still plenty for him to do in mundane life. He had no plans to become a monk anytime soon. Du Jiaojiao noticed the Buddha beads in Master Du's hand and asked, You've been using these Buddha beads for so many years. What are they made of? They're of such good quality. Xiaoya red sandalwood. Master Du replied. Du Jiaojiao extended her hand. Let me have a look. No. Master Du refused. Why? Du Jiaojiao asked. Why couldn't she see the simple strand of Buddha beads? Master Du continued, These Buddha beads have gained spiritual energy over the years. Except for me, no one else has ever touched them. If you like them, second sister, I can have our people bring you a few more strands to choose from. However, this one is off limits. Du Jiaojiao asked, I can't even look at them? No. Master Du replied. In actuality, Master Du was overly territorial about his belongings. He didn't even allow others a lingering glance, not even his mother. This is so stingy. Du Jiaojiao huffed. I don't want to see it then. Master Du continued, You must be hungry from your long journey, second sister. I know a great restaurant. Would you like to go? Upon hearing about food, Du Jiaojiao's spirits quickly lifted. Sure. The two of them made their way to Xianxia. Over the years, Du Jiaojiao had visited more than a dozen countries and seen countless restaurants. But it was the first time she had come across one like Xianxia. More than a restaurant, it was like an art gallery. Awe-inspiring. Du Jiaojiao exclaimed, Goodness! I can't believe there's a restaurant like this in Beijing. Master Du said, My reaction was exactly the same when I first came here. Du Jiaojiao continued, Who's the owner of this place? Master Du shook his head. He too was curious about the owner of the shop, but their privacy was well guarded, so he couldn't find out. Laughing, Du Jiaojiao said, How mysterious. As they entered a private room, Du Jiaojiao couldn't help but exclaim again. She pulled a waitress aside and asked, Young girl, the garment you're wearing is really beautiful. Is this a vintage piece? Where did you get it? All the waitresses at Xianxia underwent professional training. Dear customer, the dress I'm wearing is called Chiru, a traditional Han costume. It's custom-made from a factory by our boss. Upon hearing this, Du Jiaojiao's curiosity about the owner of Xianxia piqued even more. Young girl, who's your boss? The waitress shook her head. I'm not really sure, I've never seen our boss. So, the owner of Xianxia wasn't a simple character. Du Jiaojiao asked, If you've never seen your boss, then who's responsible for running the restaurant now? The waitress replied, Currently, our restaurant is being managed by the manager. Du Jiaojiao nodded. Okay, bring me the menu. The waitress handed Du Jiaojiao the menu. Du Jiaojiao looked up at Master Du. Little brother, what would you like to eat? Master Du glanced at Du Jiao. Am vegetarian. Du Jiao shook her head in disbelief. You recite scriptures, wear Buddha beads and eat vegan. Anybody who didn't know better would think you're a monk. You're just so boring. They'll have this grand spread, this gold-plated bounty and this. In one breath, Du Jiao ordered a long list of dishes, considerately adding 3 vegetarian dishes for Master Du. Would you like anything to drink? The waitress asked. Du Jiao thought for a moment, then said, Oh, my skin has been in terrible condition lately. It's so dry and uncomfortable. Let's have a lemon water. Chapter 792, So Unique. Found the real lifesaver. _3. In reality, women of this era seldom knew the hydrating effects of lemon water, but Du Jiao was different. She was a modern lady, educated in the West and knew quite a few things. All right. The waiter nodded. Then Du Jiao turned to Du Yi. What do you want to drink? Westlake Longjing tea will do. Du Yi's tone was indifferent. Du Yi never bothered with miscellaneous things, he rarely drank even plain water. The only beverage he drank was tea. Boring. When the dishes were served, Du Jiao was again filled with surprise. Oh my god. This had to be the tastiest restaurant she had ever tried. Even a glass of lemon water was so refreshing, so unique. Yang stayed at her master's house for the entire afternoon and only returned home around 7 p.m. Today was Saturday and as usual, Yang had to visit the Shangguan family. Saturday and Sunday were the days she usually spent with the old lady Shangguan. At the trash bin by the entrance, Yang found a large bouquet of bright red roses. Perhaps total to 99 roses. This must have been given to Shangguan Furong by some admirer. Even though Shangguan Furong was over 30, she kept herself extremely well preserved. She was already beautiful to begin with, so she was never short of suitors. Sister Yang. As soon as Yang stepped into the house, Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing, the 2 sisters, came rushing out. Shangguan Furong wasn't always at the Shangguan family. She only came back on weekends. She spent Saturdays at the Shangguan family, and on Sundays she would take the children to the Zhao family to visit the old lady Zhao. Even though she was divorced, old lady Zhao was still the grandmother of the 2 children. Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing really liked their cousin Yang. Zijuan, Ziqing, and Yang took out the candies she had prepared from her bag. The candies were shaped like little pigs, extremely cute, almost making one reluctant to eat them. Thank you, Sister Yang. Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing said, politely thanking her. Yang patted their little heads. Go and play. Let's go find Sister and play. The 2 ran inside. Yin is back. Shangguanxi came out from inside. Sister Xiaoxi. Yang stretched out her hand and hugged Shangguanxi. Shangguanxi and Shangguansu also came back once a week, usually living in their own home. Yin were having dumplings tonight. What filling do you want? Shangguan Furong walked out of the kitchen wearing an apron and looked at Yang with a smile. Shangguan Furong had changed a lot. The old her would never have done any housework, but now she even made dumplings. Her long hair had been cut short to ear length, making her look very energetic. It was like she had turned into a new person. Yang laughed and said, Auntie is back, I want dumplings with pure pork filling. Yang loved dumplings with pure pork filling. Of course, she would occasionally eat dumplings with other fillings too. The same went for buns. Shangguan Furong nodded, all right. Yang put her bag on the sofa, he'll help you guys make the dumplings. Me too. Shangguanxi tucked Yang's arm under hers. The 2 went to the kitchen where everyone was making dumplings including Shangguansu. Even though Shangguansu was a man, he made very beautiful dumplings. Shangguanxi noticed that all the dumplings Shangguansu made had a pork filling. He kept his head down and was very focused, giving off a warm aura under the light. Shangguanxi thought that whoever married her brother would be very happy in their future. Old lady Shangguan was surrounded by everyone and was very happy. She was truly very happy. She was truly delighted that the Shangguan family had arrived at where they were today, with such sensible and adorable children around them. Zheng Lingling was very angry. The more she thought about it, the more she couldn't accept it. Why did the old Zheng lady and old Zheng gentleman treat Yang and Zheng Xianjing differently? Zheng Xianjing was clearly more outstanding than Yang. Was it possible for Yang to save Du Yi's life like Zheng Xianjing could? Cuihua and Yang had gone to the Shangguan family, yet these 2 old folks didn't even come downstairs. Did they really think their family of 3 was dead? Zheng Lingling sat on the sofa, all her features twisted into a knot. Boo! At this moment, a figure jumped out from behind, giving Zheng Lingling a big fright. You crazy! Zheng Lingling was about to curse crazy woman, but suddenly remembered that the old Zheng lady and old Zheng gentleman were at home. She immediately swallowed the words and pasted a strange smile on her face. Aunt Suyu, what are you doing? Haha, you're a ghost. I scared you. Zheng Suyu jumped up delightedly. Chapter 793, So Unique. Found the real lifesaver. _4. Zheng Lingling continued, Aunt Suyu, please stop causing a ruckus and go get some rest. No. Don't kill me. I don't know anything. Zheng Suyu suddenly became frightened. She sat on the ground, kicking in front. Go away. The ghost is so terrifying. Sister, come save me. I can't see. I don't know. Zheng Lingling looked at Zheng Suyu, narrowing her eyes slightly. This madwoman only knows how to blather nonsense. Andy, are you okay? It'll help you back to rest. Zheng Lingling reached out to assist Zheng Suyu. Zheng Suyu pushed Zheng Lingling to the ground. You are a ghost. You are not a human. Sister, save me. At that moment, old lady Zheng came running down from upstairs. Suyu, are you okay? Sister. Zheng Suyu ran towards old lady Zheng. Old lady Zheng's eyes welled up with tears. Suyu, do you remember me? Zheng Suyu didn't like calling her sister-in-law from the beginning. When they first met, Zheng Suyu always addressed her as sister-in-law. Even after she married Jing Jun, Zheng Suyu still called her sister. She has been calling her that for decades now. Zheng Lingling's gaze tightened. Has this madwoman really recovered? Sister, there's a ghost that wants to kill me. I'm so scared. They're all ghosts. Zheng Suyu pointed at non-existent people in the air and clung tightly to old lady Zheng in terror. Old lady Zheng sighed. Suyu, there are no ghosts in this world. Don't be scared. She thought Zheng Suyu was getting better. Zheng Suyu shivered in fear. Old lady Zheng continued. Suyu, how about I take you upstairs to rest? Zheng Suyu nodded in fear. Zheng Lingling said, Mother, Aunt Suyu hasn't been in a great state of mind these days. Coincidentally, her medication has run out. They'll go visit Dr. Jiang and get some more medicine. Okay, instructed old lady Zheng. It's already dark out. Lingling, tell the driver to be careful on the road. Okay. Zheng Lingling nodded. He'll go get ready and ask Sun Wu to accompany me. Zheng Lingling returned to her room. Sun Wu was sitting on the bed watching TV. Zheng Lingling continued, Get up quickly, stop watching TV. Get up? Sun Wu looked up at Zheng Lingling. Where are we going? Zheng Lingling said, to Dr. Jiang's. Without saying anything further, Sun Wu immediately got out of bed. The couple arrived at Dr. Jiang's residence by car. Seeing Zheng Lingling and Sun Wu, Dr. Jiang was delighted and busy pouring tea for the couple. Zheng Lingling took the teapot from Dr. Jiang's hand. You don't have to do that, I can pour the tea, Dr. Jiang continued. Have you two had dinner? If not, I can cook for you. Sun Wu said, Aunt Jiang, you don't have to trouble yourself. We've already eaten. Dr. Jiang nodded. That's good. The three of them chatted for a while, the room filled with laughter and a warm atmosphere. Zheng Lingling said, Aunt Jiang, Aunt Suyu's medicine has run out. I came here to get some. Dr. Jiang said, He'll get the medicine for you in a bit. Zheng Lingling set down her teacup and continued, Aunt Jiang, Aunt Suyu's condition has been getting worse recently. She has been saying some strange things like someone wants to harm her and that she didn't see anything, she doesn't know anything. Upon hearing this, Dr. Jiang's expression changed. Zheng Lingling continued, Aunt Jiang, I suggest you prescribe some medication to treat her condition. Aunt Suyu can't continue rambling nonsense like this. There are always people coming and going in our house. This way they will just laugh at us, won't they? Dr. Jiang nodded. Okay, I understand. After discussing Zheng Suyu's condition, Zheng Lingling began talking about the Zheng family's situation. Aunt Jiang, I've come to realize that my mother has never really seen me as her daughter. Nothing can compare to having a child of your own. Remembering the unfairness, Zheng Lingling's eyes turned red. Dr. Jiang patted Zheng Lingling's hand. I don't think your mother is the type of person to play favorites. You're probably overthinking this. Zheng Lingling said, How could I be overthinking it? My mother is exactly like that. It was a little better before she found her real child. Since then they've become more and more excessive. Sun Wu nodded in agreement. Yes, it really is like that. I can vouch for her. My parents-in-law really don't seem to care about us now. Dr. Jiang's expression turned sour. Chapter 794, So Unique. Found the Real Lifesaver. _5. How had the old lady of the Zheng family promised to take care of Lingling when she brought her to her side? She had said that she would cherish Lingling and treat her as her own daughter. How many years had passed since then? Human hearts. Really impossible to examine. Dr. Jiang looked up at Lingling. Your niece and I Yang also has medical skills. Lingling was startled. How did you know? She hadn't paid much attention. Dr. Jiang explained, when I met her last time, I smelled a faint scent of Chinese medicine on her and saw that she was carrying a bag for acupuncture needles. Why would an ordinary person carry needles for acupuncture? After speaking, Dr. Jiang continued, in my observation her medical skills are not bad. Lingling snorted coldly, I didn't expect this country girl to be so capable. Dr. Jiang glanced at her, Lingling, as I've told you before, never underestimate anyone. Lingling fell silent. Dr. Jiang asked again, how have your parents been doing recently? They are both fine, Lingling replied. Dr. Jiang nodded, remember what I told you last time? Do not make ginseng soup for your parents again. Have you been making it since then? No, Lingling shook her head. She always obeyed Dr. Jiang's instructions. That's good. Dr. Jiang heaved a sigh of relief and then reassured her, Lingling, for some things, there is no need to be hasty. You have been her daughter for so many years, I believe she would never treat you unfairly. After speaking, she continued, he'll handle the rest. Yup. With Dr. Jiang's words, Lingling immediately found a sense of security. Dr. Jiang continued, in a few days it will be Xianxia's birthday. Your niece and I Yang shares the same birthday as her. You can organize a grand birthday party for them. Xianxia is now the life-saving benefactor of Master Du. He definitely won't dismiss her birthday. It's a good opportunity to show your mother who is better suited to be Miss Zheng. Upon hearing this, Lingling's eyes lit up. You're right. Why had she not thought of that? If it's Xianxia's birthday, Master Du will definitely make an appearance. Both of the two granddaughters have their birthday on the same day, but one will have the full support and attention of Master Du and all the other wealthy families. The scene will surely be lively. The Shangguan family. After dinner, the Shangguan matriarch asked Shangguan Furong to join her on the couch for a chat. Furong, could you bring the children to visit their grandmother tomorrow? Okay. Shangguan Furong nodded, well, go tomorrow. Another pause before the Shangguan matriarch asked, did Zhao Xin come to see you today? Yes. Furong replied. So, what do you think? Shangguan matriarch continued asking. Shangguan Furong responded, Mom, it's simply impossible for him and me. She had thought a lot about it recently. She was able to forgive Zhao Shen for his actions because he was the father of her children after all. But she could never be with him again. Spilled water cannot be gathered again. The Shangguan matriarch sighed, Furong, don't you ever consider the children? They are still so young, Shangguan Furong replied. It is precisely because I have thought about them that I bring them over at least once a week to visit their father. They do not lack the presence of a father. But the children only get to see him once a week. Other kids can see their parents any day. The Shangguan matriarch added. Shangguan Furong responded, that's not how it should be viewed. There are left-behind children in rural areas who only get to see their parents once a year, so then, is a week longer or is a year longer? The Shangguan matriarch was silenced. You just need to think carefully. When you go to their grandmother's tomorrow, remember to bring more gifts. I heard that Zhao's matriarch has not been feeling well recently. Blessings are often given to the offspring by their parents. Forget it. She should not bother anymore. Shangguan Furong nodded, okay, I know. The following morning, Shangguan Furong carried some healthcare products, and took her children to the Zhao family. The Zhao matriarch had recently caught a cold and had been running a fever. When Shangguan Furong and the children arrived, the Zhao matriarch was lying in bed on an IV drip. Grandma, Grandma. The children immediately gathered around her. Upon seeing the children, the Zhao matriarch's face broke into a smile. Zijuan Ziqing. Aunt, are you okay? Shangguan Furong approached her. With a smile, the Zhao matriarch said, Furong, you came too. I'm fine, just having a bit of a cold. Chapter 795, So Unique. Found the Real Lifesaver. _6. Shangguan Furong tucked the duvet around old lady Shangguan. You need to take care of yourself. Old lady Zhao nodded, yes, I know. Just then Zhao Shen walked in from outside. Furong, you're here. Shangguan Furong nodded. The children were thrilled to see Zhao Shen. Dad. Even though Zhao Ziqing and Zhao Zijuan were quite grown up, Zhao Shen still picked up one of them. Zijuan, Ziqing, have you missed Dad? Yes. Zhao Zijuan and Zhao Ziqing nodded. Shangguan Furong watched the scene unfold, a smile tugging at her lips. Being apart for a while actually felt good. Zhao Shen had never been so affectionate with the children before. Because old lady Zhao's health was failing, Shangguan Furong decided to leave one of the children with the Zhao family to keep her company. After all, one shouldn't be too selfish. Having witnessed what happened with Lin Feng, she believed that the Zhao family wouldn't repeat the same mistake. She herself would visit once a week. Which of you would like to stay with Grandma? Shangguan Furong squatted before the two children, asking. I will. Zhao Zijuan stepped forward. Mom, I want to stay with Grandma. All right, Shangguan Furong nodded, patting Zhao Zijuan's head. Then you need to listen to Grandma, okay? Mom will come back to see you once a week. Yes, Mom, I know. Zhao Zijuan nodded sensibly. Tears streamed down old lady Zhao's face as she lay in her hospital bed, moved by their actions. That evening, Zhao Shen walked out with Zhao Zijuan to see off Shangguan Furong and Zhao Ziqing. Furong, thank you. Shangguan Furong replied, You don't need to thank me. Zijuan isn't just my child. However, let me be clear. If you repeat your mistakes, you won't see your children ever again. She would take the children far away. It will never happen again. You have my word. Zhao Shen promised. Shangguan Furong continued, Remember those words. All right, no need for goodbyes, you better go back. Ziqing, say goodbye to your father and brother. Reluctantly, Zhao Ziqing waved. Goodbye, Dad. Goodbye, brother. Zhao Shen opened his mouth. Furong, have we really no chance to be together anymore? His eyes were filled with pleading. No chance, Shangguan Furong answered. Zhao Shen, I wish you to find your true love soon. Having said that, Shangguan Furong turned around with her child and walked away. With his heart feeling as if it had been torn apart, Zhao Shen watched the silhouettes of the mother and daughter disappear. The pain was real. They were once a happy family of 4, now they were going their separate ways. Deming Villa. Wang Ziki, soaked in sweat, ran into Grandpa Du's study room. Grandpa Du. Grandpa Du. Grandpa Du put down his Buddhist scripture. What is it? Wang Ziki exclaimed excitedly, Grandpa Du, it's her. It's really her. Grandpa Du's eyebrows furrowed. What do you mean it's her? Be clearer. Wang Ziki couldn't calm down. And who would blame him, considering it was about Grandpa Du's savior, who was also his? He hadn't imagined that Xianxia was an imposter. Grandpa Du was proven to be right. Wang Ziki recomposed himself. Grandpa Du, the person who helped us that night, it was N.I. Yang. It was her. Grandpa Du remained unfazed. This revelation was not surprising to him. Otherwise he wouldn't have asked Wang Ziki to investigate N.I. Yang. Wang Ziki continued, Grandpa Du, should I bring that necklace to N.I. Yang? No need, said Grandpa Du, that necklace has already been given to someone else. Regifting it to N.I. Yang would seem insincere. Bring the Night Pearl. The Night Pearl. The Night Pearl dated back to the Northern Song dynasty. Wang Ziki was stunned. It seemed that Grandpa Du was really going all out this time. If they wanted to find N.I. Yang, they could go to the National Colors and Heavenly Fragrances. N.I. Yang was a regular at the National Colors and Heavenly Fragrances. As the weather had begun to get warmer, N.I. Yang had stopped wearing her coat. That day she was wearing a light blue cheongsam with her hair down, a pale blue crystal hairpin adorned with thin fringe on the left side. The fringes trembled as she walked, much like the shimmering surface of water. She was captivating. She looked as if she had walked straight out of a vintage Chinese painting. Grandpa Du was immediately drawn to N.I. Yang, who was deep in conversation with Gulanji as he entered. The buzzing crowd in the distance made it hard for him to catch their conversation. Grandpa Du, should we go over? Wang Ziki asked. Grandpa Du nodded. Chapter 796, So Unique. Found the real lifesaver. _7 The two approached together. Miss N.I. excused the interruption. Mr. Du spoke in an indifferent tone. N.I. Yang looked back slightly and saw the man dressed like a scholar and Wang Ziki standing next to him. N.I. Yang had seen Wang Ziki's photos at her master and mistress place, and recognized Wang Ziki at first glance. Could it be that this man was the one she had rescued in the alley last time? No, N.I. Yang suddenly realized. How did they know her last name was N.I.? Huh. Are you calling me? Yes. Mr. Du nodded. Can I have a word with you, Miss N.I.? And Yang glanced at Wang Ziki, then at Mr. Du and then nodded, okay. The three of them made their way to the private room upstairs. Mr. Du took out the white crystal hair clip. Miss Anai, do you recognize this? And Yang looked closely. Isn't this my hair clip? She had lost one of her hair clips before, but she didn't really take notice, never thought it would have been picked up by this man. How can you prove that this is yours? Mr. Du had always been suspicious. And Yang gave a faint smile, took the blue crystal hair clip from her head, a strand of blue-black hair slid down to her ear, spilling onto the table like ink splashed on water. Look, they are a pair, the only difference is the color. And Yang had many of these hair clips because she used them to match with her cheongsams, so she had them in every color, and all her hair clips were handmade by her, always in pairs. Was that person that evening you? Asked Mr. Du as Yang expected. He had come to find her for this matter. Yes, it's me. I never thought you would be able to find me. It was a time without surveillance, and it had already gotten dark, and she had left nothing to identify herself, so Yang was genuinely surprised that they could find her. It was unexpected. Seems like Boss Wang Ziki has quite the influence. Mr. Du continued, may I ask, why did you decide to save me that night? And how did you know I was in danger? It was quite clear that Yang came that night prepared. Mr. Du posed two questions which were quite difficult for Yang to answer. She couldn't very well say that she was reborn, could she? Because she didn't know in advance that Mr. Du would come, she hadn't prepared in advance. She merely wanted to be an unknown hero. Never thought that Mr. Du would be so persistent in finding her. After a moment, Yang looked at Wang Ziki. Mr. Du immediately understood. Ziki, could you step out for a moment? Okay. Wang Ziki nodded. Can you tell me now? Mr. Du asked. And Yang continued, to be honest, I didn't know on that night you were in danger as well. I was there to save my senior brother, and you were saved incidentally. Saved incidentally? Being always esteemed, Mr. Du was hearing such a phrase for the first time. Wherever Mr. Du went, wasn't he adored by everyone? Yet now, his life was only saved incidentally. It was quite a peculiar feeling. Your senior brother is Wang Ziki? Mr. Du asked. Yes, but he doesn't know about my existence. And Yang nodded. I am a newly accepted disciple of old Master Wang. I am currently learning medical skills from him. Mr. Du knew that Wang Ziki's father is a doctor. He fiddled with his Buddha beads. Then how did you know that your senior brother was in danger? And Yang professionally shot the breeze. You might not believe it, but I can tell fortunes. I had foreseen that my senior brother would face a life and death tribulation that evening, so I was there, waiting. After all, whether it's one person or two I had to save, I might as well save you too. Chapter 797. Face slapping at the birthday banquet. _1 and Yang spoke in a gentle tone, there was no hint of jesting in his words. It took a while for Sir Du to process this fact. He was only saved as an afterthought. Can you really tell fortunes? Sir Du asked again. Yes. And Yang affirmed with a serious nod. Sir Du toyed with his Buddha beads. Then, can you predict my fortune too? No. And Yang shook his head. Sir Du raised an eyebrow. And Yang pinched his fingers, putting on the air of a hermit above worldly concerns. Sir, have you ever seen a hermit, I mean a real one, casually predicting fortunes for others? Besides, fortune-telling involves breaking the heavenly secrecy, which could backfire and harm oneself. If it weren't for the fact that Wang Ziki is my elder martial brother, I would not have risked my life to predict his fortune. And Yang, who had also been an important figure in his previous life, was quite adept later at cajoling others. It was fortunate that Sir Du, due to his weak and illness-prone constitution during his early years, had kept a few Taoist priests around and so, had a certain degree of belief in metaphysics. Therefore he didn't question Yang's claims much. After all, it was a fact that she had saved him. Moreover, Sir Du's intuition told him that Yang was not a liar, nor was she someone with ulterior motives. Because her eyes were too clear. Sir Du, who had met countless people, was encountering such clear eyes for the first time. They were like pristine, flawless gems. After hearing Yang's words, Sir Du concluded, so basically, the only reason I managed to escape death was that I had Wang Ziki's luck on my side. If it were not for Wang Ziki, he would have been dead by now. And Yang nodded in agreement. Indeed. The fact was, Sir Du was indeed a side beneficiary, and it was only because of Wang Ziki's luck that Yang had ventured into that alley in the first place. Had it not been for Wang Ziki, Yang wouldn't have even entertained the thought. The realities were realities. Apart from her past reincarnation, Anai Yang did not wish to deceive Serdu. Though it was unbelievable, he was indeed saved as an afterthought. And it was also because of Wang Ziqi's luck. Though this young girl in front of him was a cousin to Zheng Xianjing, she was nothing like the manipulative Zheng Xianjing. Anai Yang didn't even want to pretend to appease him. Had it been anyone else, they would have said, "I just couldn't bear to watch a vibrant life vanish before my eyes." But Anai Yang had voiced the cold hard truth. Serdu took out the gift box he had prepared beforehand and said, "Regardless of the circumstances, you saved my life once. I'm the type of person who doesn't like owing anyone anything. This is my token of gratitude." In the exquisite mahogany gift box lay a glossy, exceedingly round pearl. The pearl was a lake blue hue, nearly transparent, and emitted a brilliant, jade-like radiance as it absorbed and blended with the surrounding light. Extravagantly beautiful it was. Anai Yang's gaze gently slid away from the night pearl. "Sir, you were only saved as an afterthought by me. Strictly speaking, my elder martial brother is your real savior. Your gratitude should be directed towards him. It's not proper to receive rewards undeservedly." If she really accepted such a big gift, Anai Yang would feel guilty. "So instead you would like me to owe you?" Serdu retorted. "Right." Now that he had said as much, if she were to refuse again, he might think she had some ulterior motive. Anai Yang reached out and picked up the night pearl. Her skin was as white as snow and the soft light of the night pearl spilled through her fingers, making her fingertips seem as if they were made of jade. "If that's the case, then thank you, sir. From now on we will be even." Serdu toyed with his Buddha beads and chuckled. "My surname is Du. Everyone calls me Serdu." "Serdu? Who would have thought this seemingly gentle and scholarly man would behave like a martial world wanderer?" "Serdu?" Anai Yang squinted. Could it be the Serdu from the 10-mile foreign district? In her previous life, Anai Yang, having seen the world, naturally knew about Serdu from the 10-mile foreign district. However, it was hard for her to reconcile this gentle and scholarly man before her with the ruthless, bloody Serdu from the 10-mile foreign district. With a light smile, Anai Yang introduced herself. "My name is Anai Yang. Everyone calls me Brother Smoke." Actually, Anai Yang wanted to introduce herself as Sir Smoke, but Brother Smoke sounded better. Serdu responded, "Mississippi and I don't joke around." With the night pearl in her hand, Anai Yang retorted seriously, "Mr. Du, I am not joking." Her unstated implication being, if you can be addressed as Serdu, why can't I be called Brother Smoke? No matter where Serdu went, people would respectfully address him as Serdu. Over time, he had almost forgotten his own name. Chapter 798, Face Slapping at the Birthday Banquet. _2. This was the first time he had been mocked by a young girl, who insisted he call her Brother Yang. Anai Yang was toying with the night pearl in her hand and then said, "Mr. Du, I will take the pearl. You may excuse me, I have some obligations." Mr. Du stood up to bid her farewell. As she crossed through the beaded curtain, Anai Yang seemed to suddenly remember something. She glanced back at Mr. Du. "By the way, Mr. Du, my senior was part of your rescue team. I hope you remember to thank him as well." The glinting crystal beads reflected on her distinct features, creating a hazy beauty sprinkled with an aura of mystery. Mr. Du nodded slightly. He partook the beaded curtain and the visage before him became clear. "Of course," he said. Anai Yang gave a nod and turned to leave. Wang Ziqi was waiting outside the door when it suddenly opened, and Anai Yang emerged. "Miss Anai," Wang Ziqi said respectfully. Anai Yang looked at Wang Ziqi, and suddenly seemed to realize something. She said with surprise, "You're a Wang, aren't you?" "Yes." Wang Ziqi nodded. Anai Yang continued, "So, Mr. Wang Yu is your father, right?" Wang Ziqi was surprised. "Miss Anai, you know my father?" Anai Yang replied, "Brother, I am your father's newest student. I have seen your picture at my master's place." Wang Ziqi did not expect Anai Yang to be his father's student. "Are you really my father's new student?" an excited Wang Ziqi asked. "How are my parents doing? Are they well?" He had been away from home for work for quite some time and was always concerned about them. Anai Yang nodded. "Brother, our master and his wife miss you. When you have the time, remember to visit them." Wang Ziqi scratched his head. "I don't have any days off recently." In fact, Wang Ziqi hadn't been home for almost 2 years. As Mr. Du's personal assistant, he needed to ensure Mr. Du's safety at all times, leaving him little freedom with his time. Anai Yang added, "Brother, do not worry. Mr. Du is such a good and grateful person. There is no doubt that he, being such an exceptional leader, will grant you leave. When that time comes, make sure to visit the master and his wife. Mr. Du stood on the side smiling. This cheeky girl sure knows how to play her part. She already knew Wang Ziki was her senior and pretended to recognize him for the first time. She purposely praised him greatly in his presence with the intention of securing a few days off for Wang Ziki. If he didn't, wouldn't that mean he wasn't a good leader? An unconscious smile touched the corners of Mr. Du's mouth. N.I. Yang's words had left the honest Wang Ziki at a loss for words. Miss N.I. rest assured. As soon as I have time off, I'll visit my parents. N.I. Yang said with a smile, Brother, you don't have to be so formal with me, just call me junior sister. Calling such a beautiful woman a junior sister made Wang Ziki feel a bit shy. Junior sister. N.I. Yang continued, Brother, I have to leave for now. Okay. Wang Ziki nodded. After N.I. Yang left, Mr. Du turned to Wang Ziki. Ziki, come inside with me. Okay. Wang Ziki followed Mr. Du inside. Once inside the private room, Mr. Du said, Ziki, I've got some work to do in the next few days. So, I'll give you a leave of 10 days starting next week. Go home and visit your parents. The news of the sudden holidays took Wang Ziki by surprise. Really? Mr. Du nodded. Recalling someone's instructions, he added, Also, Ziki, thank you. Gratitude? Wang Ziki was utterly confused. Why on earth would Mr. Du thank him? What had he done to deserve Mr. Du's gratitude? He felt somewhat flustered. While Wang Ziki was still trying to comprehend the situation, Mr. Du continued, I've been feeling a bit unwell recently, and I heard that your father is a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, is that right? Yes. My father is a very talented TCM doctor. Wang Ziki nodded and continued, Mr. Du, why don't you accompany me home? My father could examine you. Despite Wang Ziki's usual slow demeanor, he was surprisingly proactive when it mattered the most. Mr. Du nodded, That would hardly be any trouble, thank your father for me please. Scratching his head, Wang Ziki replied, Not a problem at all. As they were already at the colors of the sky, they could not resist a fine feast. Chapter 799, Face Slapping at the Birthday Banquet. _3. By the time the two of them emerged from Gus Tianxiang, it was already past 1 in the afternoon. Walking amidst the bustling streets, Grandpa Du caught a glimpse of a familiar figure. Was N.I. Yang. Where did she come out from? The pawn shop? Grandpa Du glanced towards the words on the signboard behind N.I. Yang, a twitch playing at the corner of his mouth. Did she pawn the night pearl? Just like that? That night pearl was from the Northern Song dynasty, priceless. She must have gotten a load of money for it. She's still just a young girl after all. She probably thought the night pearl was just a small pearl. Such a quality night pearl, such a waste. What are you looking at, Grandpa Du? Wang Ziki asked, curious. Nothing, replied Grandpa Du, averting his gaze. Let's go. If she wants to pawn it, let it be pawned. After all, the pearl was already given to her. N.I. Yang originally intended to pawn the night pearl. After all, such a pearl was all beauty but no value, and it would be better off converted to cash. But who would have known that the pawnshop owner didn't recognize its value, insisting that it was a modern piece, offering only 1,000 yuan for it. And so she left with the pearl. Seeing N.I. Yang leave, the pawnshop owner rushed out after her. Miss, wait, we can talk about this. Actually, 1,000 yuan is really not a small sum. 1,000 yuan was indeed a significant amount, compared to an average monthly salary of 30 yuan. But this night pearl was from the Northern Song dynasty. 1,000 yuan wouldn't even buy a tiny fragment of it. N.I. Yang glanced back. There's nothing to talk about, I'm not selling. The pawnshop owner continued, You're quite hot-tempered, young lady. If you think 1,000 yuan is too little, I can add another 500. Isn't 500 quite a lot? Your pearl might look pretty, but it's not worth much. N.I. Yang looked at the pawnshop owner, then laughed. Sir, considering your age, you could call me auntie. Yet you keep calling me a young lady. Do you really think I'm a naive girl you can fool around with? The pawnshop owner adjusted his glasses with a smile. Just look at you, missy. I'd say you're no more than 18. Auntie? These young girls nowadays, they're so good at bluffing. Had only wanted to lower the price because he saw N.I. Yang as a young girl, carrying a valuable item. He hadn't expected this young lady to be so shrewd. N.I. Yang looked at the pawnshop owner and with a serious expression said, Actually, I'm 88 years old this year. Though I may look young, I've had a surgery abroad. So, young man, in the future, be honest when doing business and don't always think of cheating others. Young man. This pawnshop owner was already in his 60s, and today he was being called a young man by a young lady. But seeing Yang speaking so convincingly, the pawnshop owner was taken aback. Is it really true? Of course it's true. Yang nodded confidently. The owner of the pawnshop suddenly looked eager and flattered, supporting Yang. Then madam, please be careful when going down the stairs. I'm worried you might fall. By the way, could you tell me which hospital overseas you had your surgery at and maybe introduce me to it? Who wouldn't want to have a surgery that could make them look younger? Yang replied, sorry but they don't accept dishonest young people like you. The pawnshop owner, having said her piece, Yang turned around and left. Seeing the two of them leave, a stylishly dressed woman on the side burst out laughing. These Beijing girls are so funny. Having finished laughing, she turned to her assistant. By the way, has my third brother found his savior yet? That's right. This stylish woman is Du Jiao. It seems they've found her, the assistant replied. Then let's get back quickly and see, said Du Jiao. When Du Jiao returned to Deming Xian, Grandpa Du was already back. He was sitting in his study room lighting incense, reading Buddhist scriptures. I heard that you found her. Du Jiao strolled in, pouring herself a cup of tea. Grandpa Du responded without lifting his gaze. So what's she like, this girl? Jiao asked curiously. Talking about this girl, it seemed that Grandpa Du had a lot to say. He put down his scripture and began to recount the events. After listening to the story, Du Jiao laughed till tears filled her eyes. My goodness! Who would have thought there would come a day when your life, Grandpa Du, would be worth so little that someone saved it as an afterthought? So, any particular thoughts? Chapter 800, Face Slapping at the Birthday Banquet. _4. Everyone usually fawned over and sought favor with Mr. Du, but this girl dared to insult him brazenly. In all her years, Du Jiao had never seen Mr. Du lose face like that before. Seeing Du Jiao laughing until her face was contorted, Mr. Du quietly picked up his teacup and took a sip. Thankfully, he didn't tell Du Jiao that Yang wanted him to call her Brother Yang. If Du Jiao heard about that, she would likely laugh herself to death. It seems that not telling her was indeed very wise. After a full 5 minutes of laughter, Du Jiao finally suppressed her giggles. She nudged Mr. Du and said, honestly, do you have any unique feelings about this? I really want to know your current state of mind. Looking at Du Jiao calmly, Mr. Du simply replied, you're too boring. Don't pretend. Aren't you feeling particularly angry now? Do you want to get back at that little girl? Du Jiao asked. Not at all, replied Mr. Du with a flat tone. Continuing, Du Jiao asked, what was she like? Was she pretty? Du Jiao was a total beauty fanatic. Mr. Du slightly nodded his agreement. Is she prettier than I am? Du Jiao pressed on. Mr. Du paused and looked at Du Jiao before replying, there's no basis for comparison. Du Jiao frowned slightly. What do you mean there's no basis for comparison? Are you saying that I'm prettier than her? So, by how much? Second sister, do you think you're prettier, or is it changed, the legendary Chinese goddess of the moon? Mr. Du countered. Dumbfounded, Du Jiao replied, how can these two things even be compared? There's absolutely no basis for comparison. I think you're absolutely right, Mr. Du agreed, nodding approvingly. After a while, Du Jiao finally understood the implication of Mr. Du's words. He was playing mind games. This sly younger brother. Always playing mind games, implying she's not as attractive. The Zheng family. Ever since Zheng Lingling obtained some medication from the doctor a few days ago, Zheng Suyu's condition has improved. Today she sat at the dining table without any fuss. Halfway through dinner, Zheng Lingling said, Mom, the day after tomorrow is Xianjing and Yangyang's birthday. Coincidentally, they share the same birthday and this will be Yangyang's first year with us. I want to make it special. Upon hearing this, the Zheng matriarch put down her chopsticks. Yes, how thoughtful of you, Lingling. This is Yangyang's first time celebrating her birthday with us. We should definitely make it grand. It's indeed as if Xianjing and Yangyang are fated sisters, even sharing a birth date. With a fake smile, Zheng Lingling responded, isn't that the truth? This old hag only cares about her own granddaughter. When it was Xianjing's birthday in the past, why didn't she want to celebrate it grandly? I remember the year when Xianjing turned 18. I wanted to throw a dignified birthday party for her, but what did this old hag say? She suggested that instead of wasting resources on a lavish party, We should donate to the orphanage. Was her daughter less important than those orphans? What Zheng Lingling didn't understand was that, back then, the Zheng matriarch hadn't yet found her long-lost biological daughter. If they had celebrated Xianxia's birthday in grand style, she would have felt as though she was being unfair to the daughter she had lost for so many years. Over the years, the Zheng matriarch had made sure to give Xianxia everything she deserved, not a bit less. But Zheng Lingling never saw this. She lacked empathy and understanding. Continuing, the Zheng matriarch said, "Since we're celebrating both of their birthdays, don't be frugal about the expenses. Don't hesitate to spend where necessary. We can't let outsiders mock our Zheng family for being stingy." Zheng Lingling nodded obediently. "All right, Mom, I understand." After dinner, back in her room, Zheng Lingling called Xianxia and asked her to come home. As soon as Xianxia heard that her mother was planning a birthday banquet, she immediately set off from school. "Wait and see, Xianxia. I will make sure you stand tall and proud at the birthday banquet. We will trample down that country bumpkin in Aiyang. She doesn't even deserve to tie your shoelaces." Zheng Xianxia expressed some concern. "Mom, are you sure Mr. Du will come?" It had been many days. Wang Ziki hadn't shown up in all that time. So Zheng Xianxia was worried. Zheng Lingling laughed and reassured her, "Don't worry. Mr. Du will definitely come back. They'll make sure news of your birthday gets disseminated tomorrow." Zheng Xianxia nodded. In order to make Zheng Xianjing's birthday a success and raise her status, Zheng Lingling put in a great deal of effort, even ordering a top-tier evening gown from overseas specifically for the occasion. Chapter 801. A slap in the face at the birthday party. _5. This is an extremely luxurious light blue evening gown, adorned with tiny diamonds at the hem, which made it appear as though she was walking on water, incredibly beautiful. Zheng Xianxia put on the dress and stood in front of the mirror, exclaiming in surprise, "Oh my gosh! It looks so good." She never knew she could look so pretty. Zheng Lingling said proudly, "Of course, how could my daughter not be beautiful?" Zheng Xianxia then asked, "By the way, Mom, what kind of evening gown did you prepare for Aiyang?" Zheng Lingling replied, "The same as yours." Zheng Xianxia asked in shock, "What? The same as mine? How could they be the same? What if Aiyang stole the spotlight from her?" Zheng Lingling patted Zheng Xianjing's hand, smiling, "Xianjing, don't worry, that little bitch won't steal your thunder. Although her gown is the same style as yours, the color is different. Hers is bright red. Just think about it, such a bright red, can she pull it off? Not only can she not pull it off, but it will also look tacky, and her tackiness will only highlight your pure elegance. She is just a stepping stone for you." Actually, Zheng Lingling didn't want to spend a lot of money on a fancy dress for Aiyang. But with Grandpa Zheng and Grandma Zheng watching, if she bought different dresses for Zheng Xianjing and Aiyang, Grandpa Zheng and Grandma Zheng would definitely have something to say, which would lead to gossip. By preparing the same dresses, who could have anything to say about that? That's why Zheng Lingling intentionally chose a bright red dress for Aiyang. Not just bright red, but also adorned with diamonds on the hem. Such a lavish dress isn't something just anyone could carry gracefully. All they had to do was wait for Aiyang to make a fool of herself. Hearing this, Zheng Xianjing nodded, "Mom, you've really thought of everything." "That's right, otherwise how could I be your mom?" boasted Zheng Lingling. In the blink of an eye, the next day arrived and it was Aiyang and Zheng Xianjing's birthday. As the lifesaver of Mr. Du, many distinguished people from Beijing personally came to celebrate Zheng Xianjing's birthday today. "Mrs. Zheng, you truly have raised a good daughter. We will all rely on Miss Xianjing in the future." Zheng Lingling replied with a smile, "Mr. Lu, what are you talking about? Your presence at our Xianjing's birthday celebration is a great honor for her. Please write this way." After sending off Mr. Lu, Mr. Zhou, Mr. Wang, Mr. Li arrived one by one, keeping Zheng Lingling extremely busy. Looking at Enai Tsuehua, there was not a single person who came to greet her. Zheng Lingling felt extremely gratified. Actually, Enai Tsuehua was not paying attention to these things. She was busy chatting with Enai Qingui. Not only had Enai Qingui come today, but Grandma Lu was also there. Grandma Lu, Grandma Zheng, Grandma Shangguan and Grandma Mo were all quite compatible, and at this moment the four old ladies were chatting together, only missing a mahjong set. Enai Qingui glanced at Zheng Lingling not far away and then said, "Yang Yang's mom, I see your sister acting all weird, you better be careful around her." Enai Tsuehua nodded, "Yeah, I know, don't worry, she can't bully me." She was no longer the person she used to be. "That's good. And I Chingue continued, by the way, where is Yang? She's the star today, how come I haven't seen her come out yet? And I Tsuehua smiled, she's upstairs changing into a dress. Sister Lingling bought her an evening gown from abroad. Oh, and I Chingue nodded, turned his head and looked at Shengguan Dehui not far away playing with little and I Yun, and said with a smile, Yang Yang's mom, you really found a good man. Look how well your husband treats little Yun Yun. And I Tsuehua smiled sweetly. Shengguan Dehui truly was a good husband and a great father. Many times and I Tsuehua felt very fortunate. And I Chingue continued, also Xiaoxiu and Xiaoxi, those two kids are also very good. Yang Yang's mom, you are truly blessed. And I Tsuehua replied with a laugh, don't keep praising me, what about you? It's been so many years, when will you find someone again? And I Chingue joked, where would I find such good luck as you? You still have an undying first love, my first love is already a grandfather. And I Tsuehua said, it doesn't have to be a first love. Wow. Just then, a sudden sharp intake of breath arose from the crowd. Chapter 802, A Slap in the Face at the Birthday Party, _6. My God. She's so beautiful. An I Tsuehua and an I Chingue turned their heads simultaneously, only to see Xianxia, clad in a pale blue luxurious gown, gracefully descending the staircase. The long trail of her gown dragged across the floor, diamonds on it glistening under the crystal lights, refracting dazzling light like the rippling surface of water. She really looked stunning. In awe, and I Chingue exclaimed, I never thought your niece could look this beautiful. This gown must have been very expensive, right? And I Tsuehua nodded, yes, I heard it cost over 20,000 yuan. And I Chingue was dumbfounded. 20,000 yuan just for a gown? The life of the wealthy is truly unimaginable. Watching everyone's envious gazes, Zheng Xianjing proudly held her gown, stepping down the stairs elegantly. She loved this feeling of superiority, basking in everyone's attention. Xianjing, you look really pretty tonight. Lu Kerson immediately greeted her. Zheng Xianjing pulled a slight smile, just mediocre. Another wealthy girl approached. What do you mean mediocre? You look like a fairy descended from heaven. I think even fairies aren't as pretty as Xianjing. Listening to everyone's flattery, a proud smile enveloped Zheng Xianjing's face, impossible to hide. Just then Lu Kerson suddenly froze, staring at the staircase. Then another wealthy girl also froze. A collective gasp echoed through the air. Zheng Xianjing frowned slightly, wondering what they were looking at. She turned around to follow everyone's gaze. Upon turning, Zheng Xianjing also froze. There, coming down the stairs, was a woman in red. Red, a color so vividly intense, yet on her, it seemed as though it was made just for her. The brilliant red set off her skin so fair and lips so fiery. The gown, cinching at the waist, accentuated her delicate figure, making it slender enough to encircle with an arm. Her gown's diamonds made her seem perched upon the clouds, unattainably high. She outshone everyone. Against this striking presence, the previously pure and elegant Zheng Xianjing seemed so colorless she virtually vanished, especially since they wore the same style of gown. Zheng Xianjing clenched her fists tightly, shaking in fury. Originally, picking red for An Yang was supposed to make her look ridiculous. Unexpectedly, it turned out to highlight her spectacularly. Zheng Lingling also couldn't believe she had slipped up. She regretted it. She shouldn't have chosen such a splendid evening gown for An Yang. An I Chingue nearly yelled out, pulling on An I Kuihua's sleeve. Yang Yang's mom, that's Yang, right? My God. She looks so beautiful. An I Tsuehua remarked, our Yang has always been this beautiful. An I Chingue teased with a laugh, look how proud you are. Shengguan Shi excitedly tugged on Shengguan Su. Brother, look at Yang. Shengguan Su calmly responded, I see her. Enviously, Shengguan Shi said, I wish I could look as beautiful as Yang. Shengguan Su glanced at her, maybe in your next life. Shengguan Shi, frustrated, hit Shengguan Su. Old Master Zheng, originally chatting with a few old friends, proudly announced after seeing An Yang descend, see? That most beautiful girl is my granddaughter. Does your granddaughter have a boyfriend? If not, my grandson is 22 this year, Old Master Zheng hummed, it's settled. My granddaughter has someone in mind already. Stop scheming for her. Seeing An Yang stealing all the limelight, Zheng Xianjing's face was nearly twisted with anger. Lu Kerson quickly consoled, Xianjing, that An Yang is just all show and no substance. She can't compare to you at all. You are Mr. Dust's life savior and I've heard all about it. Mr. Du had a very exquisite statue custom made from top-grade gems for your birthday as a token of his gratitude. Really? Zheng Xianjing was somewhat surprised. Lu Kersen said, of course it's true. My dad told me himself. He was the one who received Mr. Du the day he went to select the gems for carving. Mr. Du said it himself that he wanted to give it to the little Miss Zheng from the Zheng family as a birthday gift. Who else could the little Miss Zheng be besides Zheng Xianjing? In fact, most of the people here tonight came because they had heard about this and wanted to wish Zheng Xianjing a happy birthday. They all wanted to take this opportunity to get acquainted with the legendary Mr. Du, so Mr. Du had actually returned to attend her birthday party. At this moment, Zheng Xianjing had already pushed aside the awkwardness from earlier. Compared to Mr. Du, what was a little embarrassment? With Mr. Du by her side, she would still be the center of attention tonight. Zheng Xianjing was thrilled. Those around her were even more envious. Mr. Du had come to celebrate Zheng Xianjing's birthday in person. Not everyone could claim such an honor. Upon hearing this, Ling Ling immediately went over to Zheng Xianjing and instructed her. Xianjing, when Mr. Du arrives, don't act like those other insipid women. You need to show everyone how you can reject Mr. Du. In Beijing, besides Zheng Xianjing, who else could refuse Mr. Du? And yet, Zheng Xianjing had always been refusing him, despite Mr. Du's continuous efforts. After tonight, the whole of Beijing will know, Zheng Xianjing is Mr. Dust's life savior. Zheng Xianjing nodded, suppressing the excitement in her heart. Okay mom, I understand. And so, the course of the party changed completely with everyone discussing Mr. Du. Did you hear? Mr. Du is coming later. I already knew about this. Miss Zheng is Mr. Dust's life savior, how could Mr. Du not come? Lucky Miss Zheng Xianjing to be able to even save Mr. Du. I didn't expect Zheng Xianjing, who appears so frail, to be so deeply capable. Indeed. Mr. Dust's life savior? And Ai Yang raised her eyebrows slightly upon hearing the discussion. It really was quite coincidental. The person she had casually saved also happened to be called Mr. Du. It remained to be seen which Mr. Du was the one famous throughout the 10-mile foreign trade district. And Ai Yang didn't dwell on it and proceeded to chat with Shangguan Shi and Shangguan Su. Shangguan Shi said, Yang, your dress looks absolutely beautiful. And Ai Yang smiled, after the banquet I'll lend it to you. Really? That would be great. Just then, a commotion arose at the entrance of the banquet hall, and all the guests paused to look. They saw 4 men in suits carrying a dazzling gem statue slowly walking inward. The crystal statue, about the height of half a person, was delicately carved, depicting many splendid peaches, symbolizing longevity. Leading the way, one man was dressed in a black suit. Another was dressed in a simple cloth robe and cloth shoes, holding Buddha beads. Despite his plain attire, every move he made exuded an unapproachable aura of nobility. That's Mr. Du, someone in the crowd recognized him. Mr. Du had indeed come. Zheng Xianjing didn't know Mr. Du, but she recognized Wang Ziki, Mr. Du's assistant. Smiling slightly, she fluffed her curly hair and, restraining her excited heart, walked step by step towards Mr. Du. Mr. Du, I think I made it very clear to your assistant, Mr. Wang Ziki, I'm not the type to leverage gratitude for personal gain. Please take your item back. Chapter 803, Bullied Zheng Xianjing, Ugly Behavior. Zheng Xianjing spoke with extreme confidence. She knew that Mr. Du was there for her. With so many people at today's birthday banquet, who else could share such glory? Yet, she wanted to be the most unique among them. She intended to refuse Mr. Du and make him fall for her exclusiveness. Zheng Xianjing's words indeed surprised everyone in the banquet hall. My God. No one expected that Zheng Xianjing would actually refuse Mr. Du. Zheng Xianjing enjoyed the stunned looks from everyone, stood up straight and confidently faced Mr. Du. Just then, Wang Ziki, dressed in a suit, stepped forward. Excuse me. Miss Zheng, Mr. Du isn't here for you. Is Miss Ai Yang here? What? Zheng Xianjing doubted she was hearing things. She was the one who had saved Mr. Dust's life. What did Mr. Du want with Ai Yang? Expressions of surprise showed on the faces of others as well. It seemed Zheng Xianjing was just being delusional. This was going to be an interesting scene. A VIP arrived at the banquet hall, and Mr. Zheng, the host, couldn't neglect his duties. He immediately approached. Is this Mr. Du? I am Yang Yang's grandfather. May I ask what brings the two of you here for my granddaughter? Wang Ziki bowed slightly. Mr. Zheng, this is Mr. Du. We have specifically come to celebrate Miss Ai Yang's birthday. They came for Ai Yang's birthday. They had come to celebrate Anai Yang's birthday? Zheng Xianjing's face turned pale instantaneously. Mr. Zheng was also bewildered. Wasn't Zheng Xianjing supposed to be Mr. Du's lifesaver? Why was Mr. Du here to celebrate Anai Yang's birthday instead? Wang Ziki continued to explain, "Here's what happened. A few months ago Miss Anai Yang once saved Mr. Du, however at that time, Mr. Du was not aware of Miss Ni's real identity. Coincidentally, your family has two granddaughters of similar age, and Miss Zheng Xianjing concealed the truth. So, we took a big detour and misidentified the lifesaver. In reality, it was Miss Anai Yang who actually saved Mr. Du." As soon as he spoke, the place went silent immediately. Zheng Xianjing felt her blood run cold, her face turning even paler than paper. Why did it turn out like this? She was the one who had saved Mr. Du. How could it be Anai Yang? The glares from the crowd felt like knives, one after the other slicing through her. Wang Ziki's words were tactfully spoken, implying that Zheng Xianjing was essentially a fraud. So she's just a fraud. A fraud dares to play hard to get with Mr. Du? She thought Mr. Du would fancy her? Delusional. Tsk, to dare impersonate Mr. Du's lifesaver, that's simply shameless. Someone in the crowd uttered these words. Embarrassment, humiliation and awkwardness, all these emotions intertwined, and Zheng Xianjing could hardly stand still as cold sweat formed layers on her back. She wished she could just disappear into a crack in the floor. She felt like a complete clown, subject to everyone's criticism and ridicule. This also put Mr. Zheng in an awkward position. After all, Zheng Xianjing was his granddaughter, and he was profoundly disappointed in her. How could she do such a thing? Zheng Lingling had not expected the situation to take such a turn. She was enjoying the praises of everyone just a second ago, only for things to change abruptly. Zheng Lingling quickly steadied herself, walked over and managed a faint smile. "Mr. Du, there must be some mistake. Our Xianjing truly is your lifesaver. Anai Yang is just a country girl, how could she possibly save you?" Hearing this, Zheng Xianjing clung to Zheng Lingling's sleeve like grasping at the last straw. Yes. Anai Yang was just an uncouth country girl, she couldn't steal her credit. It was she who was Mr. Du's true savior. It was her. At that moment Mr. Du finally spoke. "I wondered why Miss Zheng Xianjing would shamelessly claim this favor. It turns out she has such a great role model in her mother." With that, Mr. Du turned to Mr. Zheng. "Mr. Zheng, you really need to sort out your family manners." Who was Mr. Du? Would he sit idly by while this mother and daughter insulted his lifesaver? He was a man of high position, whose presence alone exuded a compelling aura. Immediately Zheng Lingling found herself speechless, her face turning from red to purple, overcome with shame. Chapter 804. Bullied Zheng Xianjing, unsightly manners under. She knew Zheng Xianjing wasn't the savior of Master Du, but she never imagined that the person who saved Master Du would be Anai Yang. That country bumpkin Anai Yang, what qualifies her? Previously, I must have been blind not to see the gem in front of me. Turns out, the real Miss Zheng is the one who saved Master Du's life. These two mother and daughter are shameless. At this point they're still desperately struggling? Do they really think Master Du is a fool? That he can't recognize his own lifesaver? Master Zheng's face flashed a shade of embarrassment. "You're right. My apologies for this farce, please come inside, Yang is in there." While speaking, he motioned to the servants beside him. "Hurry and take Madam and the young miss back to their room to rest." Under these circumstances, if Zheng Lingling and Zheng Xianjing continued to stay at the banquet, it would be utterly humiliating. Just a moment ago the mother-daughter duo Zheng Lingling and Zheng Xianjing were the center of attention, and now they had become the laughingstock. As she passed by Anai Yang, Zheng Xianjing's eyes were filled with nothing but hate and jealousy. What makes Anai Yang so special? Why should she take credit for what I did? Zheng Xianjing wished she could rush up and tear Anai Yang's face apart, but she managed to hold herself back. She had already been humiliated once. She couldn't allow it to happen a second time. Just wait. She will definitely have her revenge for today's events. Zheng Xianjing's face was deathly pale as she followed Zheng Lingling back to their room. However, the whispers behind her hadn't stopped. Especially those who had been looked down upon by Zheng Xianjing, they were now laughing until tears nearly flooded their eyes. "I have to go back and tell Xiu the good news. She'll be so happy when she hears it." Who is Zhang Xiu? Zhang Xiu is the wealthy girl who was severely humiliated by Zheng Xianjing last time. Thinking of the mocking faces of those people, Zheng Xianjing was so furious she was about to explode. Xianjing, as long as Qingshan exists, there's no fear of no firewood. Zheng Lingling held onto Zheng Xianjing's hand. Zheng Xianjing clenched her teeth tightly and nodded her head. Shengguan she pulled on Ni Yang's hand and whispered, Zheng Xianjing really has some nerve to even dare impersonate Master Du's savior. Doesn't she realize who Master Du is, that a little girl could deceive him? Shengguan she had already seen what Ni Yang was capable of, so Ni Yang having rescued Master Du was not a surprise to her at all. Ni Yang swirled her wine in the tall glass, the liquid rippling in circles under the crystal light, oblivious to the fact that she had become the focal point of the entire hall's discussion. She's still too young, too naive, spoke Ni Yang in an indifferent tone. Shengguan she looked at Ni Yang in surprise. Yang, if I remember correctly, you're actually 2 years younger than Zheng Xianjing, aren't you? Ni Yang was even younger than Zheng Xianjing, yet she was calling Zheng Xianjing a little girl. What was terrifying was that Shengguan she didn't feel any dissonance in her statement. Ni Yang shrugged slightly. Really? I thought she was the same age as me. Adorned in a dazzling red dress, she complimented the liquid in her glass. Her radiant smile was like a blooming flower, bringing to mind an idiom. A beauty so exquisite as jade. In her there was an added brilliance of attractiveness, grace and elegance. Master Du raised his brow slightly. This young lady really was full of surprises. Miss Ni, said Master Du as he fingered his Buddha beads and approached Ni Yang. Mr. Du, Ni Yang glanced back slightly. Thank you for your birthday gift, you're too kind. It's the least I could do, said Master Du, you're my lifesaver after all. Ni Yang raised her glass. Hey, race to you. Thank you. Master Du grabbed a glass of red wine from the table and clinked glasses with Ni Yang. Happy birthday. The warmth of the alcohol spread down his throat, with an indescribable potency. Master Du glanced at the beautiful wine in surprise. Oh, and Ni Yang went on, this is my sister Shengguan Shi. Sister Xiaoxi, this is Mr. Du. Master Du nodded. Miss Shengguan? Master Du, Shengguan she had heard tales of Master Du's heroics since she was little. She didn't have the courage to address Master Du in the casual manner that Ni Yang did. Master Du, being a busy man, didn't stay long in the banquet hall. Although it was only for a short time, it still brought endless glory to the Zheng family. Those who had tried to curry favor with Zheng Xianjing earlier by stepping on Ni Yang now regretted their actions deeply. They had been blind, but now it was too late for regrets. In the room, Zheng Xianjing laid on the bed sobbing uncontrollably, her features twisted. I will never forgive that bitch Ni Yang. Chapter 805. Bullied Zheng Xianjing, Unsightly Manners _3. Xianjing, stop crying, Zheng Lingling comforted her. She too hadn't expected such a thing to happen. She thought today Zheng Xianjing was going to be the highlight of the evening, but instead she became the laughingstock of the whole event. Who would have thought that Ni Yang would turn out to be Mr. Du's lifesaver? Zheng Xianjing cried bitterly, and Sun Wu was also frustrated, chain-smoking. I told you long ago that your plan wouldn't work. When facing someone like Mr. Du, you should cling tightly to him. But the two of you insisted on playing hard to get. Now look, you've messed up and gained nothing for your efforts. He had even thought about becoming Mr. Du's father-in-law. Now it's all over. Everything is gone. Zheng Lingling scolded, your daughter is like this, and you still have the mood to make sarcastic remarks. Are you still human? Zheng Xianjing cried, it's all that bitch Ni Yang's fault. She stole my thing. Clearly I was Mr. Du's lifesaver, there must be something fishy going on. It was that bitch Ni Yang seducing Mr. Du. Definitely. Why did all the good things fall into Ni Yang's lap? Why was she the one who became the joke? Zheng Xianjing truly couldn't accept it. She just couldn't. She extremely loathed Ni Yang. Zheng Lingling said, yes, Xianjing, you're right. That Ni Yang is the bane of our family of 3. First she took our family fortune and now even your credit. Don't worry, Mom won't let her get away with it. We still have a long way to go. Tonight, although the Zheng family had their moment, they also lost face. After the banquet ended, Master Zheng's expression was grim as he told the servant, go and call down the madam and miss. Yes, the servant went upstairs to call them. Shortly after, Zheng Lingling and Zheng Xianjing came down from upstairs. The mother and daughter had changed into plain clothes, looking somewhat haggard, especially Zheng Xianjing, whose eyes were swollen from crying. Father, Zheng Lingling took the initiative to speak. Master Zheng with a stern face said, explain this situation. He hadn't managed affairs in many years, and his sudden stern expression was very oppressive. Zheng Lingling continued, Dad, this incident is all my fault. I didn't teach Xianjing well. If you want to blame someone, blame me. Xianjing is still young, please don't blame her. Young? Master Zheng looked up at Zheng Lingling. You have the audacity to say that. If I'm not mistaken, Yang is even 2 years younger than her. Look at her and then look at Yang. Is this the daughter you've raised over the years? Zheng Lingling turned pale. In what ways was Zheng Xianjing inferior to An Yang? Just because she wasn't as seductive as An Yang? This biased old man. He never doubted An Yang. Without even investigating, he assumed it was Zheng Xianjing's fault. If this continued, it wouldn't be long before their family of 3 would be kicked out of the house. Zheng Lingling clenched her fingers. Thud. Zheng Xianjing knelt down. Grandfather, I'm sorry, it's my fault. I let greed cloud my judgment. I shouldn't have boasted about being Mr. Dust's lifesaver, causing our Zheng family such disgrace. You can beat or scold me. Master Zheng then said, bring the family discipline. Yes. The servant bowed and went upstairs to fetch the family discipline. The Zheng family's discipline was a leather whip, as thick as an adult's forefinger, which would certainly bruise and break the skin when lashed. Zheng Lingling got a fright, her face turned pale. Zheng Xianjing was frail, how could she withstand such a thick whip? Indeed, one wouldn't know to cherish if not their own blood. If it were An Yang, would Master Zheng have allowed someone to bring such a thick whip? Today Zheng Xianjing made such a mistake, and if she didn't suffer some consequences, Master Zheng couldn't justify it to the outside world. Moreover, the child really did need to be disciplined, otherwise who knows what she might become. Master Zheng raised the whip and lashed it down on Zheng Xianjing. Zheng Xianjing, terrified, tightly closed her eyes. Bang! The whip was so painful that Zheng Xianjing cried out in pain. She had been pampered since she was a child and had never experienced such beating. When the second lash came, Zheng Lingling timely shielded Zheng Xianjing, and the whip hit her instead. When Master Zheng was angry, Mrs. Zheng stayed silent, just watching the mother and daughter by the side. Chapter 806. Bullied Zheng Xianjing, Unsightly Manners _4. Between these 2 women, one was raised by her own hands. The other she watched grow up from childhood. At this moment, old Madame Zheng looked somewhat distressed and raised her hand to hold old Master Zheng's hand. Since the child already knows her mistake, let's forgive her this time. Zheng Lingling quickly said, Daddy? Xianjing knows she was wrong, please spare Xianjing this once. Old Master Zheng threw down the whip. Remember not to make the same mistake again. No matter what, Zheng Xianjing was still his granddaughter, and actually old Master Zheng felt somewhat reluctant to punish her. Thank you, Dad, thank you, Dad. Zheng Lingling went on, Xianjing, quickly thank Grandpa. Thank you, Grandpa. Old Master Zheng let out a sigh. A prodigal who returns is more precious than gold, get up now. Old Madame Zheng immediately helped the mother and daughter up from the ground. The old woman felt sorry for her daughter and granddaughter, but she ignored the malicious hatred to the extreme in the depths of Zheng Xianjing's eyes. Back in the room, Zheng Lingling applied medicine to Zheng Xianjing's back and Zheng Xianjing said, Mom, I feel like we're like a dog raised by the Zheng family. They beat us when they want, scold us when they please, and occasionally when they're happy they throw us a couple of bones. Zheng Lingling's complexion changed. Xianjing, let's endure a bit longer. They had both endured for so many years. What did this moment of suffering matter to them? The next morning, Zheng Xianjing seemed like a different person, her face no longer bearing the previous arrogance. Even her clothing was not as bright as before. Her overall demeanor had become much more low-key. To outsiders, Zheng Xianjing's behavior seemed like a sincere act of repentance. But An Yang knew that things were far from that simple. Sister, I'm sorry. Zheng Xianjing called out to An Yang's retreating figure and offered an apology. An Yang smiled faintly, it's okay. Since someone was willing to act, she would accompany her in the act. She loved to act the most. Zheng Xianjing then asked, Sister, you're not mad at me anymore? An Yang took Zheng Xianjing's hand, the corners of her mouth curving into shallow dimples. To err is human. As a sister, how could I blame you? Zheng Xianjing's mouth curled into a sneer. She had originally thought An Yang had some great ability, but it appeared she was just a fool. Sister? Did An Yang really consider her as a sister? Utterly foolish. This time, Zheng Xianjing planned to slowly push An Yang into an abyss, from which she would never be able to climb back up. Zheng Xianjing continued, Sister, if you see Teacher Du, please tell him for me that it wasn't intentional what happened, I just didn't know how to begin. If An Yang could seduce Teacher Du, why couldn't she? To bring down An Yang, she had to start with Teacher Du. She would let An Yang bring about her own downfall. So this was the real motive. An Yang's lips curved into a slight smile. Sure, sister, I will pass on the message. Zheng Xianjing's thoughts spun and she continued, could I trouble you to keep an eye on Teacher Du's whereabouts for me? An Yang nodded, of course. Then it'll be trouble you, sister, said Zheng Xianjing. As you should. An Yang's tone was light. The Zheng family waters ran deep, and to uncover the truth, An Yang needed to first heal Zheng Suyu. In fact, she was almost fully versed in the 13 needles of hell but lacked the final step, which she needed to discuss with her teacher. After dealing with Zheng Xianjing, An Yang rode her bike to her teacher's house. The weather was gradually getting hotter, and very unusually for her, An Yang was not wearing a cheongsam today but a white lantern sleeve blouse with black wide-leg trousers. The lantern sleeve blouse was designed by An Yang herself and made by a tailor. It combined modern fashion elements with classic ones, and since it was tailored, it fitted her perfectly. The waist-pinching style suited her especially well. Her soft hair cascaded down her back, stirring with the breeze, looking very beautiful. When An Yang arrived at her teacher and his wife's home, the old couple were having breakfast. Although An Yang had already eaten, she still joined the old couple for a few bites. After eating, An Yang began to discuss the 13 needles of hell with her teacher. Teacher Wang said, Yang, you've been very diligent with these 13 needles of hell lately. Tell your teacher honestly, have you encountered some trouble? The 13 needles of hell were very dangerous, and An Yang was worried her teacher might be concerned or try to stop her, so she said, I'm just curious, teacher. You're overthinking it. What kind of trouble could I possibly encounter? Chapter 807. Bullied Zheng Xianjing, Unsightly Manners Under. Really? Old Wang was somewhat incredulous. Really? An Yang nodded. Seeing that An Yang didn't seem to be lying, Old Wang didn't press further but said instead, to tell you the truth, I'm quite curious about these Ghost Palace 13 needles. When two medicine fanatics got together, they entered a state of obsession, completely unaware even when someone came to the house. Actually, there's an acupoint song for the Ghost Palace 13 needles, but because the Grandmaster feared outsiders would secretly learn it, it was never recorded in medical texts. It's been passed down orally from one generation of disciples to the next. Master, what is the acupoint song? I'd like to hear it, An Yang said as she casually picked up a brush, gathered her hair up, secured it at the back of her head, revealing a stretch of fair and graceful neck, her whole being radiated with the vibrancy of youth. It's been too long and I've forgotten. Old Wang stroked his beard. Please try to remember. Let me think. Old Wang tried hard to recall, then finally slapped his forehead. I remember now, for all illness caused by myriad demons' wild antics, 13 needles points must one acknowledge. First needle the Ghost Palace to start one's round, then needle Ghost Faith responses abound, one by one in order from head to toe seek. Men start from left, women from right, first needle's place in the center, Ghost Palace is correct. Left needle in and right needle out. This is the Grandmaster's brilliant secret, mad and malignant spirits all will desert. This was the acupoint song for the Ghost Palace 13 needles. An Yang picked up another brush and quickly jotted down the acupoint song on rice paper with flawless accuracy, her writing speed matching Old Wang's speaking pace. The sunlight shone in from outside the door, casting two tall shadows. But nobody noticed this. Master, the acupoint song corresponds to the 13 major acupoints of the human body. Generally speaking, as long as you target these 13 major points, there wouldn't be much room for error. Yet An Yang felt that it couldn't be that simple. There must be something missing. Old Wang's eyes lit up. Yang, your brush writing is quite good. Young people nowadays who can write with a brush are few and far between. Nowadays people use fountain pens, ballpoint pens, pencils. Old-fashioned things like brushes have long been phased out. But Old Wang was different. After all, he had lived through that era and was a man who cherished the past, so he always kept brushes and only used brushes at home. An Yang smiled and said, Master, you have a good eye. I also think my writing looks quite nice. Old Wang didn't feel that his disciple was being vain at all and nodded. Of course, could my eye for talent ever be poor? Outside, the corners of a man's mouth twitched. Dad. Just then, a rough male voice rang through the air. Old Wang was stunned. Was he hearing things? Dad. Old Wang turned around sharply and saw the son he had been longing to see. 2 years apart, and that rascal seemed to have grown tall again. Dad. Wang Ziki walked over and embraced Old Wang, his voice trembling. Old Wang couldn't help his eyes from reddening. He even doubted if he was dreaming. Old Wang stealthily pinched his thigh. It hurt like hell. This wasn't a dream. Dad, I've missed you so much. Wang Ziki burst into tears. Boss Wang said with a stern face, a man should not lightly shed tears. What's there to cry about? Hold those tears back. Despite being on the verge of tears himself, he was still seriously chastising his foolish son. Wang Ziki wiped his face with his sleeve. Dad, where's Mom? Boss Wang replied, your mom went to the vegetable garden. The vegetable garden is where they grow their own vegetables since they live in the countryside and have to grow what they eat. Oh, Wang Ziki nodded and then added, by the way, Dad, this is my boss, Mr. Du. Old Wang knew of Mr. Du by reputation but had never met him before. Mr. Du, it's a pleasure. Uncle, Mr. Du said, twirling his Buddha beads, nodding slightly. Old Wang took another look at Mr. Du, feeling that this Mr. Du was very different from the rumors, resembling more a schoolteacher from the Republic era, genteel and elegant. Just then, as if suddenly remembering something, Old Wang gestured to an Yang. Yang, come here. Ziki, this is the apprentice I've taken on recently. Before Old Wang could finish speaking, an Yang smiled and said, Master, I've already met my senior brother. With that said, she greeted Mr. Du. Mr. Du nodded in acknowledgement. Old Wang exclaimed in surprise, Yang, how do you two know each other? An Yang succinctly replied, Master, isn't there a family portrait in the living room? One day I saw someone on the street who looked exactly like senior brother from the portrait, so we got to know each other. Chapter 808, Bullied Xianxia, Unsightly Manners _6. Upon hearing this, Old Wang directly gave Wang Ziki a punch to the head. You little bastard, you come to Beijing and don't even think to visit your old man and mother. I really wasted my effort raising you. Wang Ziki, looking simple and honest, didn't know how to explain. Dad, I'm sorry, Old Wang huffed. I'm not your dad. Just then, noises came from the entrance. It was Wang Zhosher returning. Wang Zhosher wasn't as calm as Old Wang. She hugged her son, whom she hadn't seen for 2 years, and cried out loud. An Yang stood to the side, the corners of his mouth turning up in a subdued smile. He had finally fulfilled his former master and mistress dream. The last time his former master and mistress saw their son, who had been missing for 2 years, the vibrant boy they remembered had been turned into a cold corpse. One could imagine the couple's feelings at the time. Such despair. Now that their son had finally come back, the couple was overjoyed. Wang Zhosher even slaughtered 2 chickens and a big goose. Although Old Wang seemed a bit unhappy on the surface, he was actually very pleased. They'll go catch some shrimp in the river. Go ahead, Wang Zhosher said with a smile. Be careful. Amichim, Old Wang nodded. Wang Ziki was busy catching up with Wang Zhosher. Mother and son had so much to talk about after all these years apart. As a result, only Ni Yang and Grandpa Du were left in the living room. Ni Yang was busy researching the 13 ghost needles and had no time to deal with Grandpa Du, so the scene became Ni Yang reading medical texts. Grandpa Du counting Buddha beads. The only sound in the air was the flipping of pages. Although no one was speaking, the scene wasn't awkward. After lunch, Wang Ziki seemed to remember something important. Dad, Grandpa Du hasn't been feeling well lately. Could you please take a look at him? Old Wang looked at Ni Yang. Yang, you've followed behind me for so long, why don't you try to put your learning into practice? Grandpa Du, these master and disciple. One just happened to save him, the other wanted to use him for practice. It really fit the saying. If you're not family, you want to enter the same door. Ni Yang nodded, okay. Grandpa Du's lips twitched, she really dared. Ni Yang walked over to Grandpa Du. Could you please extend your right hand? Grandpa Du did as asked. The cold fingertips rested on his wrist for quite a while, yet there was no sound. Grandpa Du looked up and asked, is there any hope? Ni Yang withdrew her fingers. It's not that serious, Mr. Du, this is an old ailment. The toxins accumulated in your body haven't been completely cleared. Just a couple of prescriptions should alleviate the fatigue. Grandpa Du slowly retracted his hand and straightened his sleeves. Then ill trouble Miss Ni. The young lady was still able to discern his old ailment, which meant she had some skill. However, Grandpa Du had already figured she had good medical skills. Otherwise she wouldn't have left the right pills for him that night. A doctor's heart is like that of a parent's. It's only right, Yang said in a muted tone as she took out a writing brush to prescribe the medicine. A doctor's heart is indeed like that of a parent's, the saying goes. But Grandpa Du felt something was off. After the prescription was written, Yang handed it to Old Wang. Master, please have a look. Old Wang took the prescription and moved next to Grandpa Du. Forgive the trouble, Grandpa Du, but please extend your hand again. Grandpa Du extended his hand. As Old Wang felt Grandpa Du's pulse, he understood why Yang hadn't said anything for so long. Grandpa Du's pulse was indeed peculiar. Old Wang felt the pulse while looking at the prescription Yang wrote, nodding repeatedly, "Good, good, good. You are truly a disciple worthy of being trained by Wang Yu. Such talent, such intellect, how could an ordinary person compare?" In a short while, Old Wang put away the prescription and then said, "Grandpa Du, Yang's prescription can cure your old ailment. You've really encountered a savior today." Grandpa Du put away the prescription. "Thank you." That afternoon, because someone from the village came to seek treatment and a particular rare herb was missing, the patient's condition was quite urgent, Old Wang had no choice but to go up the mountain with a basket to gather herbs. Yang approached. "Master, it's getting late now, you're getting on in years and it's not safe to go up the mountain. Let me go instead." It had rained last night and the mountain was likely to be filled with miasma. Yang was worried for Old Wang. Old Wang laughed. "Listen to you, girl. If a big man like me isn't safe, how could a young lass like you be any safer? Let the master go." Yang took the basket off Old Wang. "Don't forget, master, I'm quite skilled. Besides, today is Big Brother's first day back. You should stay and keep him company at home." Chapter 809, Bully Jing Xianjing, Unsightly Manners _7. Old Wang was left speechless by her remarks, but still expressed his concern. Yang, are you sure you can manage alone?" "Sure, no problem." Yang slung her carrying basket on her back, waved to Old Wang and turned to leave. Old Wang watched Yang's retreating figure with worry. By chance, at this moment, Master Du came out of the house. Old Wang grabbed hold of Master Du and said, "Master Du, the girl Yang has gone up to the mountain alone. If it's not too much trouble, could you please go and check on her?" After all, Yang was Master Du's lifesaver. It wasn't too much to ask Master Du to ensure Yang's safety. Besides, with Master Du around, who was the grim reaper of the 10-mile foreign market, Old Wang felt very secure. Master Du's expression was unfazed. First, they had used him for sparring and now they were actually asking him to play bodyguard. What was this all about? If word got out, it would ruin his reputation for life, but out of respect for Old Wang as an elder, and given that Yang had saved him before, Master Du did not refuse. "All right, uncle, I'll go now." But this was only a one-time exception. Old Wang, touched, said, "Then I'll have to trouble you, Master Du." Master Du, holding his Buddha beads, headed in the direction Yang had gone, pursuing steadily. On the other side, where Wu Yinyun was. Thanks to Yang's support, Wu Yinyun finally managed to eat nearly 2 full meals at home. However, this quickly drew Grandma with dissatisfaction. She felt that Wu Yinyun really didn't understand anything. Even she, as a grandmother, hadn't filled her belly, yet Wu Yinyun was only looking out for herself. A 17-year-old girl, yet not as sensible as a 7-year-old child. She had given Wu Yinyun hints, both openly and covertly on so many occasions, but Wu Yinyun just didn't get it, bowl after bowl. So selfish. Grandma Wu, watching Wu Yinyun polish off 2 bowls of kanji, could only feel a headache coming on. She put down her chopsticks and said discontentedly, "I'm full." Wu Jinshu, surprised, said, "Mom, you only had half a bowl. Are you feeling unwell?" "It's nothing, don't fuss over me." Grandma Wu stood up. "I'm going out for a walk." Watching Grandma Wu's departing figure, Yen Erju said, "What's going on with Mom?" Wu Jinshu shook his head. "Who knows? Let it go, let it go. Don't worry about her, let's eat our meal." Wu Yanyun's hand froze while holding her bowl. She felt that her grandma was upset because of her. But she hadn't eaten that much, had she? Normally, when she was hungry, she would have to drink 4 bowls of such thin kanji. Today she had barely had 2 small bowls. Maybe she was overthinking it. Grandma Wu walked all the way to a house that was very stylishly decorated and knocked on the luxurious iron gate. "Lanzi, are you home?" "Lanzi." Soon, the robust Wu Lan walked out of the house all smiles. "Auntie, it's such a rare pleasure to see you. Come in, please come in." In present-day terms, Wu Lan's status would be considered that of a landlord. She had over 30 houses, collecting an average of 300 yuan in rent each month. In an era when the average wage was about 30 yuan, Wu Lan was living the dream life everyone yearned for. Wu Lan's house was a 3-story Western-style building beautifully decorated on the inside. Grandma Wu sighed, "If I could live in a Western-style building like this just once in my life, I'd die content." Wu Lan laughed and said, "Auntie, you're too modest. Your good fortune is still ahead of you." Seated inside, Wu Lan courteously offered Grandma Wu some pastries and tea. Having not eaten her fill at home, Grandma Wu ate several pieces of egg cake and even stealthily pocketed one, intending to bring it back for her eldest grandson. Wu Lan noticed Grandma Wu's sneaky move but said nothing about it. Although Grandma Wu's manners were unsightly, she was there to ask a favor, wasn't she? After eating and drinking her fill, Grandma Wu continued, "Lanzi, those things you mentioned to your auntie last time, are they still valid?" Chapter 8:10. Be a worldly person who drinks alcohol and eats meat. Hearing this, Wu Lan's smile brightened even more. "Of course it counts. Auntie, have you made up your mind?" Grandma Wu hesitated, then said, "I still need to think it over." Wu Lan then picked up another egg cake and stuffed it into Grandma Wu's hand. "Auntie, you really should think it over. My brother has such good conditions. If Yun marries him, she'll just be responsible for giving birth to a child for my brother. All she needs to do is take good care of my mom and the 2 kids. She doesn't have to do any other hard work. She can just enjoy her easy life at home." Wu Lan had a younger brother named Wu Chang, 35 years old this year. He had been widowed 2 years earlier and hadn't found a suitable match, so when Wu Lan saw that Wu Yinyun was quite good-looking and still a maiden, she wanted to introduce Wu Yinyun to Wu Chang. Grandma Wu continued, "Lanzi, how old is your brother this year? How many people are in his family? I didn't quite catch it last time, tell me about it in detail this time." Wu Lan poured a cup of tea for Grandma Wu. "My brother is 35 this year. That dead wife of his left behind 2 daughters, the oldest is 9 this year and the younger is 7. Then there's just my mom at home, no one else. Don't worry, my brother's household is very simple. After Yinyun marries him, certainly no one will be able to bully her." Grandma Wu frowned. "At 35 years old, that's a bit old, and he has 2 children. Our Jianghu is also only 35 years old," Wu Lan continued. "Auntie, don't look at my brother's age, but he has good conditions. You see, our family is doing pretty well, right? My brother's conditions are even better than mine. My brother owns 30 apartments. The house you are renting now, just in front of that, belongs to my brother. Auntie, if this goes through, I can talk to my brother about giving you that house in front. He has so many apartments he wouldn't miss one." Wu Lan spoke with the confidence of wealth, and Grandma Wu was astounded, asking hurriedly, "The 2-story Western-style house with a yard just in front?" "That's right." Wu Lan nodded. "That's the 2-story Western-style house with a yard. I'm telling you, that house is well insulated against the heat of summer and the cold of winter. It's not any worse than this house we're in." Grandma Wu had always envied the owner of that Western-style house with a yard. She never imagined that it belonged to Wu Lan's brother. Getting a house upon a successful arrangement, it did seem that Wu Lan's brother really was well off. Wu Lan, observing the change in Grandma Wu's expression, added, "Auntie, Dalong and Erlong haven't started school yet, have they? How can boys not go to school these days? Without an education, they'll struggle to find wives in the future." Wu Dalong and Wu Erlong were of school age, yet neither was attending school. It wasn't for lack of trying, but their family's financial situation couldn't keep up. Grandma Wu was worried too. After all, they were boys. What if they truly couldn't find wives when the time came? It must be said that Wu Lan had precisely struck Grandma Wu's most sensitive spot. Watching Grandma Wu's expression, Wu Lan pressed on, "Auntie, even if not for anything else, you should consider it for the kids' sakes. Brother Jinshu and his wife have been in Beijing for many years and still don't have their own place to live. If Yenyun marries my brother, not only can he ensure Dalong and Erlong go to school, but he can also solve your housing problem. With a house, you can also move your household registration here, and your family will become locals in Beijing. Then, young girls will be throwing themselves at you. Why worry about Dalong and Erlong not finding wives?" The terms Wu Lan offered were too favorable. Grandma Wu couldn't help but be moved. Her 2 grandsons would be able to attend school, they would have a Western-style house to live in, and become Beijing locals. This was the life she had longed for in her dreams. Yet she was, after all, a relative of the bride's side. She needed to maintain some decorum. It wasn't like her granddaughter couldn't find a husband. Grandma Wu took a bite of the egg cake and said, although that's what you say, your brother is looking for a second marriage and already has 2 children, whereas our Yenyun is still an untouched girl. Wu Lan patted Grandma Wu's hand. Auntie, I am someone who doesn't beat around the bush and I don't speak falsely. If what I say sounds unpleasant, please don't be angry. If your Yenyun wasn't a maiden with my brother's conditions, he really wouldn't consider Yenyun at all. Grandma Wu choked. Although Wu Lan's words were a bit harsh, they were indeed the truth. Wu Lan's brother had superior conditions, wealth and property. What did Wu Yenyun have? Wu Yenyun was nothing more than a few years younger than Wu Lan's brother. Chapter 8:11. Be a worldling and drink alcohol and eat meat. 2. Wu Lan continued, my brother is very proud, always wanted to find an unmarried girl. Otherwise he would have married long ago. Why would he still be waiting? You don't know how many divorced women are willing to pay to marry my brother. Wu Lan wasn't really bragging. Wu Chang himself was quite a catch and countless divorced women wanted to be with him. Unfortunately, Wu Chang didn't want anyone who had been married before. Actually, with Wu Chang's qualities, finding an unmarried girl would be very easy, but Wu Chang also demanded that the woman be beautiful. In Beijing there was no shortage of pretty young girls, but how many parents were willing to let their precious, unmarried daughters become stepmothers? That's why Wu Chang still hadn't found the right match. Right when Wu Yanyun's family moved in, Wu Lan noticed that Wu Yanyun was quite beautiful, sensible and dutiful, so she thought of introducing her to her brother. With Wu Chang's excellent prospects, Grandma Wu didn't want to give up. She had been alive for so many years but had never once lived in a Western-style house. She dreamt of living like city people in a Western-style house, if only just once. I can't decide for Yenyun on this matter. I need to ask Jianghu and his wife. Wu Lan took Grandma Wu's hand. Auntie, you are Yanyun's biological grandmother. How come you don't have the final say in this matter? Grandma Wu sighed. How can I make the decision for the 2 of them? Wu Lan went on. Then you must go back and have a serious talk with brother Jianghu and your sister-in-law. If you miss this opportunity there won't be another. I'm only mentioning this because your family has rented our house for so long. We're practically family. I wouldn't even consider outsiders. Not just anyone can marry my brother. Grandma Wu stood up. Alright, let's leave it at that for now. I'm heading back. He'll walk you out. Wu Lan escorted Grandma Wu to the gate. Grandma Wu's bounded feet moved slowly. A journey that ordinary people could complete in 15 minutes took her over 40 minutes to reach home. Upon arriving home, Wu Yenyun was washing dishes in the kitchen. Yan Erju was breastfeeding her child while Wu Jinshu was feeding the ducks in the yard. These ducks were freshly caught, still fluffy and yellow. Wu Jinshu fed them and said, eat up little ducks. Whether our 3 kids can go to school depends on you. Grandma Wu approached. You're counting on these ducks to pay for the kids' schooling? Wu Jinshu nodded, his face full of longing. Mom, don't underestimate these ducks. There are 10 of them. Once they grow up they'll become big ducks. The big ducks will lay eggs and hatch more ducklings and then we can sell them for money, right? These 10 ducklings had cost the couple nearly all their savings, which were only possible thanks to the 13 yuan Ni Yang had given them last time. Otherwise they barely scraped by each month with no spare cash to buy ducklings. Grandma Wu chuckled. Waiting for these ducklings to grow up, lay eggs and hatch new ones will take ages. You might be able to wait but the children can't. Come with me, I need to talk to you. Wu Jinshu put down the dipper and followed Grandma Wu into the house. Grandma Wu glanced outside before closing the door. Wu Jinshu asked, puzzled, Mom, what do you want to talk about? You're being so secretive. Grandma Wu pulled Wu Jinshu to sit down and her eyes quickly became red-rimmed. Jinshu, you're not well and we have so many kids to support, plus this old lady dragging you down. It's been hard on you these years. Mom? What are you talking about? Dragging me down? You're my mother, it's only right for me to take care of you. And I don't feel burdened at all. I have sons and daughters, a wife and a mother. I feel luckier than anyone. The rich have their joys and the poor have theirs. Wu Jinshu was content with his life, never feeling overburdened or complaining. Grandma Wu wiped away her tears. Yet, I just can't help but feel for you. Wu Jinshu was 35. Wu Lan's brother Wu Chang was also 35. Wu Chang had money and a house, everything. What did Wu Jinshu have? He didn't even have the money to send his kids to school. So young and already in poor health. Every parent feels for their child. Mom, you're overthinking it. I'm living a good life. What is there to feel sorry for? Wu Jinshu helped Grandma Wu dab her tears. Chapter 8:12. Be a worldling and drink alcohol and eat meat. 3. After crying for a while, Grandma Wu took 2 egg cakes out of her pocket. Here, take these, have a good nourishment, but don't give them to anyone else. Grandma Wu had gotten a total of 4 egg cakes, with 2 earmarked for Wu Dalong and Wu Erlong. Mom, where did you get these? Yin asked. Egg cakes sold for more than 1 yuan per pound on the street, which their family couldn't afford. They were from Wu Lan, Grandma Wu replied, adding, Wu Lan is a kind-hearted good person. Wu Jinshu also had a favorable impression of this landlord. When they initially rented the house, Wu Lan had even given them a 2 yuan discount. Wu Jinshu said, You eat them, Grandma. I'm still young, I don't need them. Grandma Wu sternly said, If I tell you to take them, just take them. I've already eaten. Upon finishing her sentence, Grandma Wu continued, Jinshu, having so many kids at home isn't a solution. Yenyun is not that young anymore. Maybe we should consider finding a good family for her to marry into. Our circumstances aren't great. Finding her a good family could allow her to lead a comfortable life. No way. Wu Jinshu immediately objected. Yenyun is only 17 years old this year. How can we talk about marriage? I want her to continue studying. A girl, sooner or later, will have to get married. What's the use of studying so much? Grandma Wu persisted. In the past, girls her age already had several children. Grandma was thinking had been deeply ingrained from the old society. How could it be changed easily? Wu Jinshu said, The past is the past and now is now, Mom. Men and women are equal now. Besides, Teacher Zhao said Yenyun is a promising student and she's bound to get into a good university. I would go to any length to ensure Yenyun gets an education. Yenyun had always been in school until the Wu family could no longer afford the tuition, which is why she had dropped out to take care of children at home. The teacher had made countless home visits to get Yenyun back to school. But the family was just too poor. Grandma Wu sighed. We don't have enough money for our own sons to attend school, and now we're pushing to send a girl to school? Honestly, I wonder whether this father is really related by blood. Wu Jinshu frowned slightly and lowered his voice. Mom, didn't we agree not to bring this up anymore? Why are you starting again? Yenyun was not the biological daughter of Wu Jinshu and Erju. Wu Jinshu and Erju had been married for over a year without having children, until the 2nd year when Erju, while chopping wood in the mountains, found newborn Yenyun, whose umbilical cord hadn't even been cut. This was also the origin of Yenyun's name. She was the one Erju encountered. Another reason was that a wandering Taoist said Yenyun was the reincarnation of a fortunate star from heaven, capable of bringing new opportunities to the Wu family and ensuring the continuation of their family line, which is why she was named Yenyun. Meat and Chinese characters combined the surname of the husband and wife, making her full name Wu Yenyun. Interestingly, when Yenyun was 8 years old, Erju indeed became pregnant and smoothly gave birth to Wu Dalong. When Yenyun was 11, Erju gave birth to Wu Erlong, and last year to Wu Xiaolong. The births of these 3 children one after another made the couple very happy, and their fondness for Yenyun grew as well. They believed it was Yenyun who had brought these new opportunities to the Wu family. Do you think I want to bring this up? I mentioned it because it seems you've even forgotten your own sons. Grandma Wu grabbed Wu Jinshu's hand. Jinshu, I'm 67 this year and who knows when my time will come. If I don't see Dalong and Erlong going to school and your family living in a small Western-style house before I go, I won't be at peace. As long as the family is healthy and happy, it doesn't matter where we live, Mom. You really don't need to worry about this, Wu Jinshu said. Upon hearing this, Grandma Wu felt her nose twitch and started crying again. You keep saying you want to honor me, is this how you honor me? Everyone else's parents are living in small Western-style houses, and here am I, staying in this dark, haunted place. People aspire to move up, water flows downhill. Do you think I don't want to live in a small Western-style house? Your father died early, and it was I who brought you up single-handedly, carrying you through the Great Famine. I chewed on tree barks and ate clay. Think about it, when did I ever let you and your sister eat such things? A child doesn't know the parent's heart, a child doesn't know. Grandma Wu's spouse had died early, leaving her to raise 2 children alone. Chapter 8:13. Be a worldling and drink alcohol and eat meat. 4. Being a woman with bound feet, she couldn't handle heavy labor. Over those years to bring up her 2 children, she endured every hardship imaginable. Wu Jinshu knew his mother had suffered a great deal and sighed, "Mom, it's my fault for being useless, for not having the ability to get you a nice Western-style house to live in. But rest assured, I believe that one day our family will be able to live in one." Grandma Wu wiped away her tears. "Will you burn one for me when I die?" Living in a Western-style house is easier said than done. With the current economic situation of Wu Jinshu and Yen Erju, dreaming of a Western-style house was like waiting till the cows come home. Wu Jinshu helplessly replied, "Mom, don't talk like that, it's bad luck." Grandma Wu continued, "All I'm asking is for Yen Yun to get married. Go and ask around, let everyone judge whether what I'm asking as a grandma is too much. Does any family's girl not get married? Does any family's boy not take a wife? What, is your daughter made of gold or something? That she won't get married in this lifetime?" Wu Jinshu sighed, "It's not about not getting married, the thing is Yen Yun is still too young. She's already 17, not 7. Grandma Wu retorted. "And you're not even her real father, you've done enough by raising her all these years." With a helpless sigh, Wu Jinshu said, "My dear mother, why do you keep bringing this up? In my heart, Yen Yun is as much my own daughter as Dalong, Erlong and Xiaolong. I'm her real grandma, aren't I?" Grandma Wu said, "The way you talk makes me sound like an evil grandmother. I just want her to get married for her own good. Given our situation, staying with us is just suffering. She would be better off getting married early and enjoying life. I'm thinking of her well-being. How great are the circumstances at Wu Chang's house. Once Yen Yun marries into that family, she would be able to enjoy the good things in life, not just for herself, but she would make things better for her own family too." Wu Jinshu stood up and headed outside. "Mom, don't bring this up again in the future. Yen Yun will always be my daughter. I'm going out to feed the ducks." "Jinshu." Grandma Wu grabbed hold of Wu Jinshu's sleeve. "Jinshu, listen to me, I really found her a good match. The boy's family owns over 30 houses, and he even promised me that once the deed is done, he would give us one. The house in front of our place, the 2-story Western-style one with a yard, you always say how nicely it's been constructed, right?" Wu Jinshu shook off Grandma Wu's hand and said softly, "No matter how nice the house is, I would never trade my daughter for it." "How could that be considered trading? We are marrying off a daughter," said the exasperated grandma. "Besides, they even said they could transfer our whole family's registration to Beijing, and then we would become Beijingers. Mom, please don't talk about this anymore. Even if you do, I will never agree. This is absolutely impossible." Wu Jinshu himself might not be Yan Yun's biological father, but he and Yen Erju had raised her with their own hands. She might not be his own flesh and blood, but he cherished her just the same. He couldn't bring himself to do such a thing. Wu Jinshu opened the door and left Grandma Wu's room. Watching Wu Jinshu's departing figure, Grandma Wu sighed deeply. She just couldn't understand. Was that adopted child really that important? More important than a Western-style house and her own son? She couldn't fathom what kind of father Wu Jinshu was. After all, she wasn't trying to harm Yen Yun. She was looking to secure her a life of comfort. Most people couldn't even dream of marrying someone like Wu Chang. A child doesn't stay under parents' control forever. Grandma Wu wiped away her tears, recalling the hardships of her past and the grievances of the present. The more she thought about it, the sadder she became, crying so much that her eyes swelled. When she was young, she went without food and clothes. Now that she was old, she was still depriving herself. What for? For this family, for the children. But no one appreciated her efforts. They were all good people and she was the only bad one. No, this time she would have that Western-style house or else she couldn't die in peace. Seeing Wu Jinshu emerge from Grandma Wu's room, Yen Erju tugged at his sleeve. "What was Mom talking to you about? It seems so secretive with the door shut and all." To avoid friction between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law, of course, Wu Jinshu couldn't tell the truth. He pulled out 2 egg cakes from his pocket. "You know how my mom is. She's always worried that I'm suffering. Someone gave her 2 egg cakes and she insisted on giving them to me. You take them to eat? I'm a grown man, I can't stomach such rich food." Chapter 8:14. Be a worldling and drink alcohol and eat meat. 5. Erju Yen stuffed the egg cake back into her husband's hand. "You keep what's given to you. Your health has always been poor." Jinshu Wu smiled. "All right, then we'll each have one." Erju then asked, "Didn't Mom say anything else to you?" "No," Jinshu answered. What could an old woman who never leaves the house possibly have to say? Erju figured that made sense, so she didn't press further. Then I'll take this egg cake to Xiaoyun. Erju was very fond of her daughter Yenyun. No matter what goodies she had, her two sons would have to step aside. The first person she thought of was always her daughter Yenyun. On the other side, Mr. Du quickly caught up with Anai Yang. Why are you here? Anai Yang looked back puzzled. Twisting his Buddha beads, Mr. Du said, your master is worried about you going up the mountain alone. Anai Yang grinned, what's there to worry about? Can a big living person like me get lost? Mr. Du, please go back. Mr. Du took a step forward. I do not make promises lightly. Since I've agreed to your master, I won't let him worry. Hurry up then, it's about to get dark. Hearing this, Anai Yang had no choice but to follow. Soon enough, the two of them entered the mountains. It had rained the previous night. The mountain air was incredibly fresh, with unknown flowers blooming among the grass, looking gorgeous. As she walked, Anai Yang picked flowers. In no time, she gathered a large handful, the dazzling colors complementing her jade-like face. It was truly a case of the lady being lovelier than the flowers. Mr. Du followed behind. Didn't your teacher ever teach you to protect plants and flowers? Anai Yang placed the flowers into her basket. Didn't your teacher ever teach you to be more flexible in your thinking? The ancients said, if you have flowers you should pick them before they wilt. Don't wait for the branches to become bare. Mr. Du was speechless. This young girl always managed to leave him at a loss for words. For the rest of the time, Mr. Du simply kept silent, quietly following behind. Conveniently, Anai Yang preferred not to be disturbed while she was digging for herbal medicine. The mountain woods were well preserved at this time, with all kinds of herbs to be found. The more Anai Yang dug, the less she wanted to return. She even encountered several plants that had disappeared in later ages. Mr. Du leaned against a pine tree, half closing his eyes, slowly twirling the Buddha beads in his hand. At that moment, he suddenly opened his eyes and said to Anai Yang, don't move. Above Anai Yang, in the branches of a tree, coiled a bamboo viper, flicking its tongue. The bamboo viper was a terrifyingly venomous snake. A single bite could be crippling, if not fatal. Just as Mr. Du was about to make a move, Anai Yang swiftly stood up and with lightning speed, grasped the 7-inch of the viper, even faster than the snake itself. It was a second that could make one's heart race. Holding the viper's 7-inch in one hand, Anai Yang drew a shining dagger from her waist with the other, deftly extracted the snake gall, popped it into her mouth and swallowed it whole. It was incredibly cool. The whole scene left Mr. Du open-mouthed in astonishment. Was she really a woman? Mr. Du began to doubt Anai Yang's gender. Over the years, Mr. Du had seen girls from all over Jiangnan, but he had never seen any quite like Anai Yang. Able to fight, skilled in medical arts, adept at collecting herbs and unafraid of snakes. And then to swallow a snake gall whole. Are these things that a girl should do? Yet Anai Yang had done just that. Having smoothly swallowed the snake gall, Anai Yang looked up at Mr. Du. Snake gall is a valuable thing. It can dispel wind and dampness, cool the eyes, detoxify prickly heat, and it's highly nourishing. Want to try one? Though she had just killed a snake, not a trace of blood stained her hands. If one hadn't seen it with their own eyes, who would believe such a delicate young lady was capable of such incredible feats? Clutching his Buddha beads, Mr. Du fought down his roiling stomach, shaking his head. No thank you. Seeing Mr. Du's pale face, Anai Yang laughed. Are you really the Mr. Du who's feared by both men and ghosts in the foreign districts? Is it so scary to swallow a snake gall? Mr. Du, on the way down the mountain, Anai Yang caught a wild chicken with shiny feathers. Just when Mr. Du thought Anai Yang would comment on the chicken's beauty, she directly said, this beautiful wild chicken will make the most delicious roasted chicken. Mr. Du's mouth twitched. Why on earth did Master Wang ask him to protect Anai Yang? Chapter 8:15. Be a commoner, drink alcohol and eat meat. 6. The protected ones should be the small animals in the mountains. Fortunately, Anai Yang only came to pick some herbal medicine. If Anai Yang lived in the mountains year-round, wouldn't she scare away all the small animals? While walking, Anai Yang suddenly stopped. Master Du did not expect her to stop so abruptly and bumped right into a human wall, nearly falling as his steps wavered. A pale hand quickly grabbed his wrist and then just as swiftly let go. Watch where you're going. Master Du steadied himself. What happened? Anai Yang looked around. It seems we're lost. By this time, the sky had gradually darkened, and various sounds of small animals echoed through the forest, which would certainly make anyone with a faint heart tremble with fear. Master Du, who had plenty of outdoor experience, said, "It's the ghost hitting the wall." And Yang massaged her temples. "What should we do?" Master Du remained unperturbed, playing with his Buddha beads. "Now we can only wait until the sun comes out tomorrow morning to leave." And Yang sighed and took off her backpack. "Then that's the only option." Master Du looked at Yang bewildered. "Ghost hitting the wall? Aren't you afraid?" A normal young lady hearing ghost hitting the wall wouldn't react so indifferently. And Yang sat down against a pine tree. "What's there to be afraid of? It's not like there are real ghosts." The mountains harbored miasma, and it was pitch black all around. Encountering ghost hitting the wall was quite normal. Actually, ghost hitting the wall isn't really about ghosts, it's just a phenomenon. Biology had already provided a definite answer. When people lose their sense of direction, everything around them appears circular, so they keep going around in the same place. They can only wait for the sun to come out in the morning to regain their sense of direction. Master Du chuckled. "You seem to know quite a bit." "That I do," and Yang replied unabashedly. Master Du played with his Buddha beads and remained silent. And Yang took a water bottle out of her backpack, took several gulps, and then turned to Master Du. "Are you thirsty?" After walking half a day in the mountains, how could he not be thirsty? But sharing a water bottle between a man and a woman, that seemed somewhat improper. Just then Yang tossed him a bright red fruit. "This wild fruit is full of water and quenches thirst very well." Master Du paused, then accurately caught the wild fruit. "Thank you." And Yang continued, "If one isn't enough, there are more in the backpack." "Where did they come from?" Master Du asked. "I picked them while I was gathering herbal medicine," and Yang replied. Master Du bit into a wild fruit. Crunch. Indeed, the fruit was very juicy and crispy. It tasted great. As darkness deepened, Yang pulled a shiny bead out of her pocket and placed it on a branch, instantly lighting up the area. A good item indeed. It was far better than an electric light. Master Du, surprised, said, "I thought you sold that bead?" And Yang took out a dagger and swiftly slit the throat of the roasted chicken. "I was planning to sell it, but unfortunately I met a boss who didn't appreciate its value." "I see." Master Du's expression softened, turning to look at Yang, and his gaze shifted back to astonishment. "What are you doing?" "Killing the chicken," and Yang answered casually. "Why kill the chicken?" And Yang responded incredulously, "Of course to eat it. Do you want to go hungry tonight?" After a pause, Yang added, "Do you know how to make a fire?" There was no shortage of twigs all over the mountain. "I don't have matches," Master Du said. "You don't smoke?" And Yang asked. Grandpa Du shook his head. "Not smoking is good," and Yang continued. "Then do you know how to start a fire by rubbing sticks together?" "Rubbing sticks together to start a fire?" Grandpa Du, with a bewildered look on his face, said, "I'm not a caveman." "Then do you know how to kill a chicken?" And Yang asked again. "I'm not a butcher either," Grandpa Du replied. Though Grandpa Du had extensive wilderness experience, it didn't mean he knew how to do everything. Moreover, whenever he was in the wilderness, there were always plenty of people around him, so there was no need for him to do anything himself. And Yang, speechless, said, "How come you don't know how to do anything?" Grandpa Du, "I'm not omnipotent." And Yang slightly raised her eyebrows. "Then can you eat?" Grandpa Du, and Yang, with a look of disdain, said, "Forget it, I'll do it myself. Self-reliance ensures abundance." Grandpa Du. Soon, the air was filled with the sizzling sound of fat dripping and the distinctive aroma of roasted chicken. Grandpa Du hadn't imagined that the principle of creating fire by rubbing with sticks was actually real. He was even more surprised that Yang could roast a wild chicken so deliciously in the wilderness. The bright flames reflected a pair of shallow eyes. She propped her chin with one hand and held a stick with the other, focusing entirely on the oil-sputtering roasted chicken. This reminded Grandpa Du of the firefox he was raising. Grandpa Du leaned against the pine tree, casually withdrew his gaze and looked up at the sky. The sky was filled with brilliant stars, the splendid Milky Way, where the cowherd and the weaver girl stared at each other from afar. Grandpa Du's fingers moved slightly, the Buddha beads also moved, and just then, a savory chicken leg was handed over. "Here, eat." While talking, Yang had already taken a big bite from the chicken leg in her hand. Grandpa Du silently recited in his heart, "Meat and wine pass through the intestines. Buddha stays in the heart," then took the chicken leg. "Thank you." "You're welcome, I couldn't finish it by myself anyway," and Yang said nonchalantly. The chicken leg was deliciously roasted, crispy on the outside and tender on the inside, with each bite filling his mouth with meat. Grandpa Du hadn't felt this satisfied in a long time. At that moment he felt that being a common man who drinks and eats meat wasn't too bad after all. After finishing the roasted chicken, and Yang sighed, I wonder if my master and mistress are worried. After all, she hadn't returned for the night. They probably aren't, Grandpa Du said. Why? And Yang turned to look at Grandpa Du. Grandpa Du, twirling the Buddha beads, said, I think when Mr. Wang asked me to come with you, he already anticipated the ghost hitting the wall. After all, Mr. Wang lived at the foot of the mountain, and he must be very familiar with the conditions in the mountain. He was so worried about Yang probably because he feared that she would be frightened if she encountered the ghost hitting the wall alone. And Yang stood up and said, That makes sense. I won't talk anymore, I'm going to sleep. Grandpa Du was momentarily taken aback. Where was she going to sleep? Before Grandpa Du could react, Yang efficiently climbed up a tree and lay on the trunk, her arms crossed. Good night. However, as she lay down, her hair accidentally caught on a branch. Snap! A calligraphy brush fell by itself. Thousands of black hairs cascaded down instantly, spilling over the tree trunk, and beneath the black hair was a face delicately stunning. Yang had no choice but to sit up from the tree trunk, and looking down at Grandpa Du, she extended her hand. Trouble you to pick up the calligraphy brush for me. Grandpa Du bent down to pick up the brush and tossed it up. Yang caught the calligraphy brush precisely. Thanks. No trouble, Grandpa Du replied, his facial expression unchanged. Chapter 8:16. The Truth. Yang sat steadily on the tree trunk, using a brush to secure her long hair behind her head, revealing a face as clear and refined as a painting. Her long black hair instantly disappeared between her pale fingers, which surprised Mr. Du. A tiny brush, yet so magically effective. A strand of hair mischievously slid from her forehead, and Yang casually swept it back and yawned, I'm so sleepy, I'm going to sleep now. Mr. Du, you should sleep early too. As she spoke, Yang lay down on the tree trunk. Fortunately, she hadn't worn a cheongsam today, otherwise it would have been really inconvenient. Mr. Du sat under the tree, picking up a few dry branches and placing them on the blazing bonfire, the new wood causing sparks to fly. The two, one above and one below the tree, coexisted in extreme harmony. After a while, Yang's even breathing could be heard from above the tree. Actually, there were still many large wild animals in the mountains at this time, but because of the bonfire burning here, no wild animals dared to approach. Mr. Du lazily leaned against the tree trunk, half squinting his eyes, twirling Buddha beads in his hand. It was unclear whether he was asleep or not. Yet, the bonfire below the tree kept burning until daybreak. Time passed, and in the blink of an eye, it was the next morning. The golden morning sun shone through the gaps in the tree leaves, casting a misty golden light in the forest, giving a lively and vibrant feel. Yang slowly opened her eyes, looked at the tender green leaves above her, was momentarily bewildered, then sat up from the tree trunk, stretched her limbs and loosened her muscles. A bit more awake, Yang looked down from the tree. Mr. Du, who had been sleeping under the tree, was nowhere to be seen, and only a few sparks still flickered on the nearby bonfire. Where could he have gone so early in the morning? Eaten by a tiger? Yang frowned slightly, and just then Mr. Du came from not far away with 2 plump stream fish skewered on a branch he carried. So he wasn't eaten by a tiger after all. Yang waved at him. Good morning. Morning. Mr. Du placed the stream fish down and then said, There are 2 small streams if you turn left not far from here. Do you want to go wash up? Really? Yang jumped down from the tree trunk stably and landed firmly. Did you catch this fish? Yes. Mr. Du nodded. I didn't expect you to be able to fish, Yang continued. I'll go wash up first. Let's have grilled fish for breakfast. Give me the fish, I'll take them and prepare them. Prepare? Mr. Du asked puzzledly. Isn't it just grilled directly? Yang helplessly shook her head. You must be one of those aristocrats who don't concern themselves with worldly matters. No, rather, a wealthy noble not to know such basic life skills. Mr. Du. Just as Mr. Du had said, to the left was a clear stream that was visible to the bottom, lined with a layer of pebbles, reflecting dazzling light under the sun, and some rainbow trout could be seen swimming in the stream. There were some copper coin grass and unidentified wildflowers growing by the stream, creating a beautiful scene that, in later generations, would definitely be a popular spot for photos. The cool water splashed on her face, immediately making her feel much more awake. There was no toothpaste in the wilderness, but fortunately, Yang found a kind of herbal plant substitute, chewed it a few times in her mouth, then rinsed with clean water. After grooming, Yang began to clean the stream fish. When Yang returned with the fish, Mr. Du had rekindled the nearly extinguished bonfire. He sat cross-legged in front of the bonfire, twirling the Buddha beads in his hand as if ready to ascend with the wind at any moment. Yang didn't disturb him and began to grill the fish in front of the bonfire. The wild stream fish from the mountains were extremely delicious, incomparable to the feed-raised fish from modern days, and soon the air was filled with an irresistible aroma. Mr. Du's eyelids twitched, finally understanding why Ananda, the elder, had never been able to fully renounce worldly attachments. This mortal world was indeed hard to leave behind. Seeing that the grilled fish seemed about done, Yang handed one to Mr. Du. "Try it and see how it tastes." Mr. Du lightly lifted his eyelids, took the grilled fish and took a bite. The fish was fresh and tender, leaving a lingering taste that was delightful. It was very different from the fishy taste he had anticipated. "Very good." Yang also took a bite. "Actually, this isn't even the best tasting grilled fish. The mountain lacks seasonings. Authentic grilled fish brushed with sesame oil and chili oil and then topped with spring onion, ginger and garlic. That is truly delicious." Chapter 8:17, The Truth. _2. Talking and talking, Yang's eyes began to light up as if they were filled to the brim with stars. "Do you know a lot about food?" Grandpa Du slightly lifted his eyes, meeting a pair of clear, bottomless eyes, then subtly lowered them again. Yang took another big bite of fish. "It's okay, just a bit pickier than the average person." Grandpa Du nodded. Yang continued, "What about you? I always see you with Buddha beads. Have you seen through the mundane world?" Grandpa Du smiled faintly. "I'm just a common man. Seeing through the mundane world isn't so easy." Yang nodded. "That makes sense. In this vast mundane world there are wines, meats and beauties. It's indeed not easy to see through all that." "You seem to understand life quite well," Grandpa Du said in a light tone. Having finished the last bite of the fish, Yang clapped his hands, stood up from the ground and said, "Let's head back." "Okay," responded Grandpa Du, standing up as well. Yang poured the water from his water bottle over the campfire to extinguish it, and they descended the mountain together. They walked one after the other. Yang led the way and Grandpa Du followed. As they passed a slippery spot, Yang looked back to remind Grandpa Du, "There's water here, Mr. Du, be careful." Grandpa Du lifted his eyes towards Yang. Somehow he felt that he was not here to protect Yang. In fact, the one being protected had always been him. Right? How could someone who could slaughter chickens, kill fish, fight, and even dare to swallow a snake gall need anyone else's care? A faint smile unwittingly appeared on Grandpa Du's lips. Soon they arrived at old Wang's house. The old couple were leaning against the door looking out. Seeing Yang and Grandpa Du return, they excitedly greeted them. "Yang, Grandpa Du, you're back. Was everything okay last night?" "All good," Yang replied, grasping Wang Zishi's hand. "Don't worry, mistress." Old Wang looked at Grandpa Du. "It must have been tough for you last night." This was the Grandpa Du who was respected by everyone within 10 miles. To think that he spent a night on the mountain. "It's not worth mentioning," Grandpa Du said slowly. Old Wang continued, "Grandpa Du, you and Yang must not have eaten breakfast yet? There's porridge and 8 treasure congee in the pot. I'll serve you some." "No need," Yang grilled some fish on the mountain, replied Grandpa Du. Hearing that Grandpa Du had already eaten, Old Wang didn't insist further. When they reached the courtyard, Yang put her basket on the ground and said, "Master, mistress, I didn't return all of last night. My folks are surely worried. I'll head back now. Oh, and the medicinal herbs are inside." "Okay, take care on your way." Old Wang came over. "Okay," nodded Yang, not forgetting to bring along a bunch of wildflowers she had picked on the mountain. As they were kept alongside various medicinal herbs, the wildflowers hadn't withered and were still stunningly vibrant. Before leaving, Yang didn't forget to greet Wang Ziki and Grandpa Du. "Elder brother Mr. Du, I'm heading back first." Grandpa Du nodded slightly. "Be careful on your way." Wang Ziki said, "Goodbye, junior sister." Yang looked back and waved at them, "Goodbye." Yang had come by bike, placing all the wildflowers in the front basket, stepped on the petals and like a freed butterfly she disappeared down the narrow path ahead. After a while, Grandpa Du and old Wang said their farewells. Wang Ziki said, "Grandpa Du, should I see you off?" "No need, I can make my way back," Grandpa Du replied. "You rarely get a holiday, spend some quality time with your parents." But, Wang Ziki looked a bit worried. "It's all right," Grandpa Du gestured with his hand. Wang Ziki continued, "Then let me walk you to the junction." This time Grandpa Du didn't refuse. The car couldn't reach the foot of the mountain, so Grandpa Du had to walk to the main road. When Wang Ziki returned, Wang Zhousher said, "Your Grandpa Du truly cares about his subordinates." Wang Ziki nodded in agreement. "Yes, our Grandpa Du is very kind." Old Wang scoffed lightly. "Kind? What kind of kindness? If he was really that kind, he wouldn't have waited so long to give Ziki a holiday." Wang Zhousher, pulling on Wang Ziki's sleeve, added, "Don't listen to your dad. By the way, Ziki, has Grandpa Du mentioned a wife? If not, introduce him to your second aunt's cousin." Every elder has the heart of a matchmaker, always the first to think of keeping good prospects within the community. Chapter 818, The Truth, _3. Wang Zhousher said without speaking, "Do you really think things are that wonderful? Do you think Di could take a fancy to Xianxia?" "It doesn't cost anything to talk about it," Wang Zhousher said with a smile. "Xianxia isn't ugly, what if Di took a liking to her? Ziki, I think Di is quite affable and has a good temperament. Try and mention it to Xianxia, will you?" "Good temperament? Affable?" A twitch tugged at the corner of Wang Ziki's mouth. If his mother saw the dark side of Du, she probably wouldn't make such a comment. Seeing that Wang Ziki was silent, Wang Zhousher became unhappy. "What's wrong with you, child? Mom is talking to you. Does Di have a wife or not? Xianxia is your cousin, and yet you're not taking this to heart at all." Only then did Wang Ziki react. "Di only has 2 concubines, no official wife." "Concubines?" Wang Zhousher thought she was hallucinating. "How long has it been since liberation, and your Du actually still has 2 concubines? Ziki, are you sure you're not mistaken?" Wang Ziki shook his head. Du is not a citizen of China, so the laws of China do not apply to him. Not only does he have 2 concubines, but both of them are strikingly beautiful. Considering Xianxin's circumstances, I don't know if she could even become the 3rd concubine. How could someone with 2 concubines possibly set his eyes on her niece, Xianxia? So Wang Zhousher didn't entertain any more wild thoughts. Continuing, Wang Zhousher said, "Forget it, Ziki, let's pretend I never said anything. However, Di seems so refined and cultured, yet he's quite a playboy. It's really surprising that he has 2 concubines. Does he have any children?" Wang Ziki continued, "Di doesn't have any children at the moment. Having 2 concubines and yet no children. That's really strange. Under normal circumstances, there should be at least dozens of children." Wang Zhousher asked, "Is there a problem with Du in that regard?" Wang Ziki touched his nose. It probably isn't that." Wang Zhousher narrowed her eyes. "I believe it's definitely something wrong with your Du, otherwise those 2 concubines wouldn't be without children." Unable to continue the conversation, Wang Ziki said, "I'm going to help Dad dry the herbal medicine." When Nai Yang got home, she happened to meet Nai Tsuehua and Shengguan Dehui hurrying out. "Dad, Mum, where are you going?" Nai Yang parked her bike on the side. Nai Kuihua's eyes lit up and she immediately ran over, grabbing Nai Yang's wrist. Yang, you're back. Where did you go last night? You kept your dad and me up all night." Shengguan Dehui said, "If you had come back any later, your mum and I would already be at the police station by now. If it weren't for the rule that one cannot report a disappearance until 24 hours have passed, they would have already called the police." Nai Yang said very apologetically, "I'm sorry, Dad, Mum, for making you worry. I went to my master's place, got held up with something. There's no phone service up in the mountains. It won't happen again next time." Shengguan Dehui continued, "It's fine as long as you're okay, let's go inside." Nai Yang nodded and followed Shengguan Dehui and Nai Tsuehua inside. Because they didn't want to worry the old couple, Nai Tsuehua and Shengguan Dehui didn't tell Grandfather Zheng and Grandmother Zheng that Nai Yang had not come home all night, instead telling them that Nai Yang had gone to a classmate's house to play. Little Nai Yun saw Nai Yang returning, and with a swoosh she jumped out of Grandmother Zheng's arms. "Sister! Sister's back!" "Little Yun Yun." Nai Yang picked up little Nai Yun. "Chirp chirp, Yang Yang." Duo flew in from the window and landed on Nai Yang's shoulder. "Yang Yang?" Was that Yang Yang call from Duo Duo just now? And I Yang looked at Duo Duo with delight. Duo Duo, can you talk now? Duo Duo rubbed its little head against an I Yang's chin. Yang Yang. So Duo Duo really could talk now. Grandfather Zheng and Grandmother Zheng were also very surprised. This little bird is so smart. And I Tsuehua came over to tease Duo Duo. Duo Duo, say it again. Yang Yang. Duo Duo called out with its voice raised again. And I Tsuehua laughed as well. Then call out Yun Yun. Yang Yang. Indeed, Duo Duo could talk, but it didn't say everything, it only knew Yang Yang. Zheng Xianjing came downstairs and, looking at this joyful family scene, her eyes filled with resentment. This was her home. This was where she had lived since she was a child, so why should these people take it over? Chapter 8:19. The Truth. _4. And that dead bird. It screeches all day long, annoying me to death. Just wait, one day it will turn into a real dead bird. Sister Xianjing, little Ni Yun, who liked Zheng Xianjing more, ran over to her with her little short legs. Sister Xianjing, have some candy. This was little Ni Yun's favorite candy. Usually she wouldn't give it to anyone except Ni Yang. Thank you, Yun Yun. Zheng Xianjing's face was full of smiles as she took the candy. Little Ni Yun reached out her hand to Zheng Xianjing. Sister, hug. A hug. If you asked Zheng Xianjing who she hated most in this family, little Ni Yun was certainly one of them. Because the Zheng family's old master and old mistress really adored this wretched girl too much. Zheng Lingling had told her that when she was young, the old master wouldn't even glance at her, but now he took little Ni Yun out for a walk every day. His kindly appearance seemed like he had turned into another person. Was this wretched girl doing this on purpose? Did she know that she hated her and that's why she came running over to be hugged? Did she think she was some great treasure? That everyone in the Zheng family had to revolve around her? Zheng Xianjing suppressed the overwhelming jealousy and picked up little Ni Yun. Yun Yun is so cute. Although she called her cute, her eyes were filled with venom. Little Ni Yun looked at Zheng Xianjing, then struggled to get down. Let me down, I want down. Zheng Xianjing put down little Ni Yun. Little Ni Yun quickly ran over to Ni Yang. Sister, hug. Ni Yang bent down and picked up little Ni Yun. Little Ni Yun was so scared that she tightly wrapped her arms around Ni Yang's neck, whispering, Sister, I'm scared. Don't be afraid. Ni Yang soothed little Ni Yun gently. Little Ni Yun rested her head on Ni Yang's shoulder and dared not look at Zheng Xianjing again. Zheng Xianjing narrowed her eyes slightly. She just knew this wretched girl did it on purpose. She did it on purpose, making the old master and old mistress dislike her. Damn wretch. Zheng Xianjing clenched her fists, but a smile crept onto her face as she continued. Yang Yang is back. Last night you didn't come home, Auntie and Uncle were so worried. From now on you must let everyone know where you're going, otherwise the family will be very anxious, won't they? Ni Yang nodded. Yes, you're right, Sister Xianjing. Seeing that the old master and old mistress had no reaction to this conversation, Zheng Xianjing became even more furious. If it had been her staying out all night, the old mistress would surely have scolded her. But now that it was Ni Yang, she had no reaction at all, not even pretending to care. That was the difference between a real granddaughter and an outsider. Ni Yang, not bothering with Zheng Xianjing, went upstairs with little Ni Yun to see Zheng Suyu. She had almost figured out the 13 ghost points, and the next task was to heal Zheng Suyu, the only person who knew the truth. Ever since Wu Jinshu rejected Grandma Wu yesterday, she had fallen ill in bed today, huffing with anger. Wu Yinyun came to bring Grandma Wu lunch. Grandma, time to eat. Seeing Wu Yinyun enter, Grandma Wu immediately turned around, her back facing Wu Yinyun. I'm not hungry, take it back. She couldn't face Wu Yinyun right now. Seeing her made her think of that small Western-style house with a courtyard in front. That should be the Wu family's house, but now, others were living there. Grandma Wu felt her heart clenching in pain. Wu Yinyun sighed, you should eat a little, otherwise your body won't hold up. You go out, Grandma Wu said. Just then footsteps sounded outside. Mom. Mom. Hearing this voice, Grandma Wu suddenly forgot everything, sat up from the bed. Jeannie, I'm here. In here. A neatly dressed middle-aged woman came in from outside. Mom, why are you sleeping in the middle of the day? This woman was Grandma Wu's younger daughter, Wu Jinjin. Wu Jinjin's fate was relatively good. She married a local man from Beijing, and their life was quite decent. Although their life was acceptable, they could only fend for themselves. Wu Jinjin was a filial daughter who often bought delicious foods to visit Grandma Wu. Wu Yenyun immediately politely greeted, "Hello, aunt." Wu Jingjin nodded, "Yenyun." After speaking, she continued, "Yenyun, why don't you go out and play with your brothers? I'll take care of grandma." "All right." Wu Yenyun nodded and walked towards the door. Chapter 820, The Truth, _5. Wu Jingjin closed the door after Yenyun left and immediately took out 2 chicken legs wrapped in oil paper from her bag. "Mom, these are the chicken legs I saved especially for you. You should eat them while they're still warm and make sure none of those kids see them." Having chicken legs, Grandma Wu certainly didn't want to eat them herself. She wanted to save them for Wu Jinshu and her 2 grandsons. Although her son was somewhat disobedient, she was still a mother. How many mothers would hold a grudge against their son? Grandma Wu carefully put away the chicken legs. "I just had dinner and can't eat any more right now. I'll save them for later." Wu Jingjin did not know Grandma Wu's cautious thoughts and continued, "Mom, what's going on with you? Lying in bed in the middle of the day, are you feeling unwell?" Speaking of this, Grandma Wu sighed deeply. "It's like this." Grandma Wu recounted the entire story to Wu Jingjin without missing a word. Wu Jingjin, surprised, said, "Such a great opportunity and my brother disagrees?" Wu Lan's family conditions in high society might only be considered ordinary, but compared to families like Wu Jinjin's and Wu Jinshu's, they were definitely wealthy. For Yenyun to marry into such a family would be marrying above her status. Grandma Wu said, "That stubborn brother of yours, he says he wants to sell his daughter." Wu Jingjin grabbed Grandma Wu's hands. "Mom, you can't listen to my brother on this. While you're still here, you should be the one calling the shots. Not to mention Yenyun isn't even my brother's biological child. Even if she were, marrying into such a well-off family would be a huge stroke of luck for her. If it were someone else, they might not even be able to marry so high." Grandma Wu sighed, "The man is as old as your brother and already has 2 daughters. Your brother probably feels pity for Yenyun marrying into a family and becoming a stepmother. Being a stepmother is not easy these days." Wu Jingjin said, "What about being a stepmother? Who you marry is who you marry. Rather than marrying some poor guy, it's better to marry someone with good conditions and later become a wealthy lady. Times have changed. Back in the day, decent families' daughters still became concubines to landowners and rich merchants. There were even old men at 80 marrying 18-year-old girls. At only 35, he's not old at all." In Wu Jinjin's eyes, these weren't problems at all. If she hadn't married, she would have even considered marrying in place of Yenyun. She was sick of struggling through poverty, which is why she had promptly found a local man from Beijing to marry. Even the poorest local man from Beijing lived better than countryside folks. Grandma Wu holding on to Wu Jinjin's hand, "If only your brother could think like you." Wu Jinjin speechlessly said, "Why care about my brother? Yenyun is your eldest granddaughter. Even if you make this decision for my brother, he can't do anything to you. After you've raised him through such difficult times, is he